Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Film Club. I am your host, the boy, the guy, the man, Zach from Zach Attack Reviews, and this is my partner in crime, who's making funny faces at the screen. My boy Kenny. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing well. It's Tuesday. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about the DC No E U.
No E.
And yeah, man, I'm just happy, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk to the people once they get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of DC talk, man. And I didn't think we would. There was a point in time I didn't think that we'd be talking about DC a lot, but now are they back? Are they whack?
Not yet.
Are they dope?
Maybe.
I hope.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, man. But yeah,
Hopefully.
we got a lot of good stuff to get into with James Gunn. And is he under the gun? Is he? Does he
That's
feel
a good question.
pressure from the Batmans and the Supes and the Wonder Womans? Uh, you know, we're gonna discuss all that, man. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to talk about DC in a mostly positive light and also in like an inquisitive light. It's not like
Mhm.
is the production of this going to be trash or is this movie going to matter at all. It's more like,
Right.
hey, yeah, the future is more bright. Even if I'm not super certain on the person that's heading everything,
Hmm.
it's just brighter than it was before. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
plans, there's scripts, there's stuff happening in the DCU. And the reason why we decided to talk about it today is because over the weekend and today, James Gunn has been talking about the DCU in length on Threads, responding
Yep.
to a lot of people's comments. And
Hmm.
also, he had a Rolling Stone article come out today where he goes into depth about his creative process, his becoming sober, finding religion, and how all this led him to Superman, and how he couldn't have
Nice.
written Superman a couple years ago because he just was felt like everything needed to be edgy, and that's not the type
Mm.
of space that you need to come to Superman with, since he's such a pure character, which makes me excited. He sounds like he
Yeah.
understands the core of the character. How do you feel about all that?
So one of the funny things that I remember seeing a lot of when it was announced that James Gunn will be taking over the DCU or making the DCU was people were concerned that everything would be James Gunnified, like all of the
Mm-hmm.
projects, including from Superman to a Batman to a Wonder Woman. People were making memes and jokes about, oh, we don't need 75 quips a minute, blah 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 blah. But I have never felt as though James Gunn would shape the universe, every single project of the universe in his own image in that way, because
Yeah.
I think that James Gunn is a director's director, meaning he knows what it's like for someone to step in and just mess with your project a lot and then try to control your direction. And I'm talking about obviously the MCU, right? The MCU does a lot of fiddling, but let's not act like the fiddling hasn't worked. Like we're not saying
Yeah.
the fiddling hasn't worked. But what I
Yeah.
am saying is I think that he understands from a perspective of a director who's worked in a cinematic universe what it's like to give a director their own voice in their own project. So I never felt as though his projects would come across as all of them sounding and looking like James Gunn projects. And what the reason why I bring that up is I also don't think that that means that the characters that he takes on are all going to sound like the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you compare, and I'm filibustering already, I'm sorry. When you compare like Suicide Squad to uh, who are these people? The Guardians of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy. Yeah.
They are they can be very similar in nature, in tone. We all know that Superman is not that. We all know Batman's not that. And I think James Gunn is smart enough to recognize this. And it sounds like from what you said that he has recognized this.
Yeah. I think a lot of the worries have been the fact that, he's the face of everything. Peter Safran, I haven't seen that man ever since they made the studio,
I
right?
don't know what he looks like.
Me neither. I do not know what he looks like. I don't know what he does. I
Yeah.
think the fact that he's been in the commercials, I think the fact that, it is a lighter tone, it is more of a movie that looks similar to Suicide Squad. There's quips. And the fact that there's so many heroes in the film, people thought
Hmm.
that it was going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy like thing with a DC code over it, I
Yeah.
could kind of see where those worries came from since
Oh,
there's
of
so
course.
many people in the first
He's
solo
captain
movie.
ensemble, so that makes sense.
It makes sense. So,
Yeah.
but from what he's saying and how he's displaying it, it feels like no, Superman's the main character. Everybody else is kind of just the background characters, maybe setting things up but supporting Superman. It's not a Peter
Right.
Quill thing where Peter Quill's the main character, but everybody else is kind
Supporting.
of the main
Yeah.
character still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Peter Seraphim is literally Batman hiding in the shadows.
like no, for real. Also, is that a Sub-Zero
As
Nightwing?
Nightwing,
That's
that's fire.
dope. That is
First of
dope.
all, shout out the Truth 31 for welcome to the live stream.
Welcome.
TJ
Yo,
Billups, hey
what
y'all,
up,
DC Future looking
TJ?
bright. TJ
What up,
and
folks?
Useless Skill, what's up?
The useless. Well, I don't want to call you the useless one. That's crazy. You're not useless.
The useful one, the useful
The
one. On the
useful
live stream.
one. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you were talking about, we have a bunch of things in a highlight order, but since you said James Gunn knows how it is to be in a cinematic universe, one, two, how filmmakers feel being in one and how that happens and how you want to make your vision, but different things change. Like he's talked about it, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is completely different from what he wanted it to be, right? Because of what happened in Infinity War and Endgame, he had to change his story and the way Gamora was, right? Because he
Right.
didn't plan for Gamora to be from a displaced whatever. So he went into something that a lot of people were talking about, and he talked about the production problems in Hollywood. And he talked about how Hollywood's problem is not TikTok and social media, because a lot of people have been trying to blame people's attention span, right? And why people are not going to the movies. People are saying streaming is an issue. People could just go home and watch these movies and things like that, which I think is part of the problem. I think TikTok is part of the problem. I do think streaming is part of the problem. But he thinks the main issue is that people are not finishing their scripts before going into production.
Yeah.
Right? They're shooting movies while the script is still being made, which causes the story to be jumbled, and people want to go to the movies to see high quality scripts and stories with heart and meaning and something that you could chew on. What do you feel about those statements?
I think that I think that scripts for superhero franchises, for the most part, should be structured with a good idea in hand and knowing having a game plan going into it. Now, does that always have to be the case? We've heard stories up the wazoo about Iron Man being basically written while it was being filmed, right? And Iron Man turned out to be pretty good, right? But when you're this deep into a cinematic universe, I know he's just starting one, but the one that he's starting has a lot of baggage that he did not incur. It was not his fault, but he's stepping into something off of the back of something that people did not receive well for the most part. So having a plan going in, and also this is a completely different studio under the same umbrella. But I could imagine that him looking over across the street at Star Wars being like, well, y'all niggas didn't have a plan? Like like there's a lot of that that I would assume that he'd be like, oh, that's a problem. Because how many, and this isn't like a bash. Well, anyway, we going to bash it. How many times has a Star Wars project been announced? Poster, director, cast, didn't come out. Blade, not a poster, but hats on stage.
Voice in a movie.
Voice in the movie hasn't come out, right? And I do think that weighs on fandom a lot of the time, because if I'm excited for a Blade movie and it's never coming out, I'm going to be pissed and I might just walk away from the entire thing in general. So I do think that with this type of structure or this type of situation, you should walk in with a script, with a plan. How crazy is that? Walk into a movie with a script.
With a finished one.
Now, things change on the day. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But have an outline. You know what I mean? So when we came into this live stream, we didn't have an outline. It would be trash.
Yeah.
And we've done
trying to figure out stuff.
Outlines. And we were like,
it wasn't fun. Like last week's stream was like one of our best ones, and we had an outline. We had shit planned. We
Yep.
had images, we had everything, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely are cooking with grease, as the
Oh,
people
I
say and the
appreciate that.
ancestors say.
What do
Let me see
our
what people say.
comments say?
Appreciate it as an artist. An artist made it for my channel. Appreciate the love. That's so dope.
That is dope, man. What kind of channel do you have? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and I might need that artist to do my new logo or
Yeah,
something
for
because that
real.
shit's
That
fire.
that thing is awesome.
Lawrence Report. James Gunn dropped a
Lawrence.
lot of gems in the Rolling Stone article. Yeah, he dropped a lot of cool things in there.
Yep.
We're gonna be going over it. No words about the Lando movie. That's a wrap. Yeah, that's
Whew.
they
That is
announced a lot of
oh,
stuff. They announced a lot of cool stuff too. Like I was really interested in that Chris Evans first Jedi movie, like the first Jedi ever. I thought that sounded really
that's
dope.
that would be interesting.
And
That
how
would
he
be
made the
as
first person to make
interesting.
the crystal and how it was a religion and all that stuff.
That sounds dope. Like that sounds like almost. I don't. You've watched. I don't want to put you out there. You have watched Avatar: The Last Bender. The
Yeah,
when okay.
yeah,
Remember when they showed the first Avatar? That was dope.
yeah. That was dope. A
Yeah.
whole movie there like that where they show the
Hmm.
origins of all the stuff and kind of put things into place would be really really cool.
Yeah.
Pat
Pat
Master,
Master! What
I
it
feel like I
is,
haven't
bro?
seen you in a while. How you doing,
Yeah,
man?
man.
Batman franchise has been good to us. Superman not so much on the video games and movies, unfortunately. Yeah, I can see that in
They've been hitting
comparison.
this. Yeah.
What's up, man?
What up?
John Darius. Hey, what's
What
up,
up,
guys?
bro?
I know it's been a while since I've commented. Hope you two are doing all right. Are you excited for the DCU based on the recent trailer interview for Superman? We're talking about that right now. So we're talking about the DCU and the excitement. He talked about post production issues. I do think that they talked about Marvel specifically, right? And he spoke about how, or the interview asked him about what happened to Marvel, how it wasn't their fault that fans have turned on them because they had literal mandates from Disney that
Oh yeah.
forced them to produce more than they wanted to, and more than it seemed like they could handle.
Hmm.
And James Gunn said that he spoke to Louis Esposito, who's a big higher up in the Marvel Studios, and he said that specifically. He was like, they mandated us to do all this stuff for Disney Plus, and it pushed us further out than we could actually do.
Yeah.
And he talked about how that's not fair, and he talked about how a lot of the people that are friends with him in the Marvel space that direct these movies, he said some of them are lazy, right? Like he said, some of them
Hmm.
are lazy, don't do the work to make the movies the best they can, and then he said some of them are really hardworking, but because the production day starts on this day, and they didn't get to finish, writing the script or figuring out how to do the characters, no matter how hard they work, they can't get the movie the way they want it, and it comes
Yeah.
out bad.
Yeah.
Speak to that. Speak to how he feels about like how the creators over there are being treated, because you just spoke to that earlier in the stream.
No, so I think that it's very difficult to create under the thumb of someone who only cares about dollars and cents. Yes, you're launching this new platform, Disney Plus. Does it make sense for your biggest franchise to have projects on that platform? Of course it does. I mean that you use Star Wars, use Marvel to sell your platform. That just makes not only business sense but artistic sense, right? But I think the way that they went about it was wrong, and I think that them flooding the market was the wrong approach. Like they put out so much stuff that it
In a
felt
short amount of
like
time.
in a short amount of time. Now, some of it, like, here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that some of that stuff wasn't good because some of that stuff
Yeah,
was really good. And
I
when
like
you
a lot
hear,
of it. Yeah,
yeah, when you hear about like how what when you see what they did being stretched thin, it's like, damn, what if they had the proper amount of time to work on this? Maybe we wouldn't have found out what the whole purpose of the show was in the fifth episode, and then they had to wrap it up in the sixth episode. I
yeah,
don't know. You know what I mean? And that's what plagued a lot of those shows. But to be in a situation where you're just mandated to put out content is never as good. Like I know, like I'll speak for myself, but I know whenever I felt like this pressure to put out a bunch of content on my channel, some of that stuff wasn't as good because I was just trying to edit and get through stuff, and we're doing all that stuff ourselves with no additional help. I can't
No.
imagine what it's like to have to put in a full project working with 50, 60, 80 different people, and including cast and crew, and try to get something good out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't think that that's the way to work, you know. And then if the artist is telling you this sucks, then who am I to argue with them and say, no, you guys could have did better? No, no, the artist is
And
telling me.
the people who worry about the money is telling you it sucks, right? Like
Yeah,
Kevin Feige has been verbal about the quality of things. Him saying Louis Esposito has been verbal about these are the money guys, right? Like these are the
right.
guys that are trying to produce $1 billion films, $100 million films that are making a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of money. So if the artists are not liking it and the money guys are not liking it, obviously the process is not great.
Right.
And I think you made a really good point. I think a lot of people try to make a lot of different excuses, like, "Oh, it's only 6 episodes, so when they get to the good parts, the show's about to end." But I think when you look at something like Daredevil Born Again, for me, this is my personal opinion, and we're gonna get more
Mm-hmm.
into DC stuff. I think that show had 9 episodes, and I still think it was a mess. So I think it's not episode length; it's just planning. Because that show, right? Like it started out one thing, they scrapped half of it, reshot it again, boosted
Mm-hmm.
up the budget to a whole big amount, and the show didn't even look like it was that big of a budget. And then like it kind of felt messy.
I personally don't feel that way. Well, let me say this. I feel like Daredevil Born Again was pretty damn good. Um, I will say that some of the special effects, and I'm not a VFX or special effects expert, but my personal preference is that Daredevil isn't CGI, that he's actually throwing
Yeah,
hands. That's my personal preference, right?
yeah,
Um, but I feel like the funny thing for me about Daredevil is everything about that show was great except the fight scenes until like the very end, right? The very end with Punisher and all that stuff, that it worked out. But when he was
yeah,
swinging from that roof,
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, what in the
It looked real bad.
2005 are we doing here?" So, but for the most part, I thought the show worked out pretty well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. For me personally, it just was a little bit of a step down from the what we got from the Netflix series,
oh, of
storytelling
course,
wise.
oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. For me, like there's no doubt.
Uh, this is a good point. All this stuff is making the studios retool things that weren't broken to begin with and ruin what they had.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
no, yeah, I think
Um,
that's true because these new products, like we were saying, Disney Plus, for example, is like, hey, we need to fit this working system into our new mold, and it just didn't work out as well as they would have liked.
I do find it interesting that a studio head, right, like James
Hmm.
Gunn, who's a part of DCU, yes, he used to be part of the MCU wheel, but now he's doing his own studio, is making comments about a different studio, right? You don't usually see that, especially not directly. Yeah, no, it's a different kind of case because he was there before and he's more of
Yeah,
a creative, but it is weird that he's making comments about how they produce things, how some directors were lazy, how yada yada yada, and different things that happened there. And then also on top of that, Rachel Brosnahan, who is going to be playing Lois Lane, also made some comments that feels like it was directed to some of the actors who have been a part of the MCU as well, indirectly or directly. I don't know what was her intentions, but talking about how she doesn't understand how actors become superheroes, sign these deals, and then complain about it later and boo-hoo about it. That's not the exact words she said, but that's like the summary of
mhm.
everything. How do you feel about like James Gunn and some of the actors saying things like that could feel to fans as people like us direct shots at the competition, and how maybe that could start like a tribalist mentality, kind of like how we see in wrestling.
It's funny that you said it because that's exactly what I was thinking. Like when people leave the WWE or AEW or vice versa, whatever
They
company they
start
leave,
talking shit.
and they start talking about it after they leave. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think the reason why some of these things become more of a big deal than they actually should be is because of tribalism and not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn is a human being. So
Mm-hmm.
is Rachel Brosnahan. So is I would assume that she. I am assuming that she's talking about the young lady who played Scarlet Witch, right, and some other people, right? So who have
Elizabeth
had,
Olsen.
yeah, Elizabeth Olsen, dog. I don't care how much you pay me. If you on bullshit, you on bullshit. And if I have the opportunity to talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. Being paid a lot of money is not something that's going to silence me from how I really feel about a situation that I was in. Like, you're not buying my silence, you're buying my services. Right? You hired me to be an actor, not to be a this robotic thing, right? And it's funny to me that people who don't make as much money, including me in that as well, the more money you make, the less human these people who are celebrities become in our eyes. Oh, you make a lot of money. Why are you complaining?
Yeah,
Because they're human and they felt something, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
now some people I'm like, yeah, yeah, shut up. But other people it's like, yeah, it was terrible working conditions. Like, we never knew what the script was. Every day we would come in, somebody would change something. Is that not frustrating? That, like, there's no amount of money that's like, hey, I came in to do this job and y'all just changing it up every time I come in. Like, that is frustrating, especially if you care about what you're doing, right? Like, it's not just about me getting paid to be an actor. I wanted to be a part of this project that I thought was going to be good, and then y'all just BSing. That's frustrating, whether the check clears or not. So, yes, that would be my opinion on that.
I think my devil advocate opposite opinion of that is that there are about 600,000 actors right now,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them are paying their bills with a day job. So for you to be a part of a franchise where you don't have to do that, I think talk to your therapist and talk to the studio head. Don't talk about it in interviews, right? Unless they are cheaping you out on money, they are sexually harassing you, or physically abusing you. If it's a thing of scripts, not, that's just part of Hollywood, right? Scripts, we, as we talked about, they've been doing it for 20 years. Scripts are just not finished. Things change, right? And part of your job is to act and based on what you signed up for. So I think hurting the studio because you signed a six feature deal and you didn't get to do the small indie movie that you wanted to do. You signed a six feature deal, you knew what the deal was about. Like, if you didn't, that's on you for not doing your due diligence. I'm not saying not to complain. I just think that the history of like actors coming in, doing the job, and then complaining about it in that way has been putting a sour note on all the projects, even if they're good or bad. And I'm not saying you don't have the right to complain, but if it's like, oh yeah, the script changed halfway, like that's just gonna happen. Like, even some of the best projects that we've ever seen had one script and they got rewritten and changed. Like Rogue One. Rogue One was shot one way, they came and changed it and edited it the other way.
Sure.
We've heard of the actors didn't talk about that, right?
Right.
Like they did their job, they got paid, the movie was great, it made a billion. Did it make a billion? I think it made $1 billion,
But
and we moved on.
that's the difference, though. That, I think that's the point. The one point that you said, the movie was great. If the movie's not great, then I'm going to feel differently about it. If I came in, I shot this thing, I thought this thing was going to be great, and blah blah blah, but y'all changed everything from what we agree that it was going to be. No, you can't tell me, oh well, things happen. No, my face is on this product, right? So, like, how do you think Dakota Johnson feels about Madam Web, right? And that's a whole nother. But it's like, yo, I
It's
thought
a
this was
different
going to
thing.
be good, blah 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 blah, and then y'all came in and y'all did all this. The villain's ADR is off. Now y'all looking at me. No, you're not gonna look at me because his ADR was off. That's crazy, right? And but that's how people, that's how fans, that's how the internet unfortunately works. It's like they always blame the person who's front and center, whether it's the actor mostly or the director, instead of actually talking about who's actually responsible. And if
Yeah,
I'm the person, like if I show up to this show, our show, right,
yeah,
and we prepared, and everything like that, and you start cursing up a storm and talking about all types of crazy stuff that we did not agree on, right? And
You're
let's say
like,
I
well, let's get over here this woke shit. You're like, whoa.
right, right, right. And I'm like, yeah, Kenny, so you got paid? Like, oh no, 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 no. He was out of pocket. Like that has nothing to do with me. Like I showed up and they cut the Wi-Fi off. Yeah, and anyway, I'm going too long. But the point is, they're human beings, man. Like this is not like now. Where I do agree with is if you signed a 6 picture deal, knowing that that time would take you away from a indie movie that you wanted to do, nigga, you that's you did that. I'm talking about the project that they're on. Like, if they were told one thing and it was something else,
Yeah, I
I
think I think most of it has been Elizabeth Olsen comments that people are talking about, and it's been a range of like her complaining on the fact that she hasn't got a chance to do other projects because she's Scarlet Witch, and now she's turning down appearances. Like she said she turned down being in Doomsday. Um, I I just like I said, like she signed the picture deal, right? And the
mm,
fact that she's even able to turn down a big movie like Doomsday is interesting. Like that, he said, poor Justice Smith getting a
all
bad rap.
right, all right. Now, when you show
Sorry, it's
up, you
useless
do
skill.
have to do your job.
Yeah,
You do have to be
he ain't
good.
doing his job.
Right, 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 right.
He ain't doing his job.
Yeah.
That's her right. It's definitely her right. I just think that it can be done in a different way. I think Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, and Isabella Merced have done a good job talking about Madam Web in a
Am I not
way,
talking about it?
even though that movie was chopped up to be bit in pieces and trash, and well, me and you like it for different reasons,
Yeah.
um, and everything. I think
Yeah.
that they did a good job of like not
Mm.
harping on it in a way, in this negative way. They just made jokes like, oh yeah, like Isabella Merced said, in 10 years that movie is going to be seen as like a campy, so good is so bad classic, and I agree with that. There's people who don't watch that and
Mhm.
die laughing.
Bro, if I walked in somebody's house and they were watching Madam Web, I'm sitting down to watch it with them. Like, it's that fun to watch. It's not good, but
Is
it's
that
fun.
fun? Let me see
But
what some of
yeah,
these people
no,
got to say.
yeah, yeah. Let's go to the people. The people.
Um, T, what's up, man? That isn't fair for her to say that when she's a damsel in that movie and not doing a quarter of the stuff Chris Hemsworth is doing. See, I can't talk
Who?
about what she is, Rachel Bronson. I can't talk
Oh,
about what she isn't or not doing in the movie. Acting is acting and it's hard, and it does look like she has a bigger role in the movie than just being a damsel because they show her flying the ship in the last trailer. So I
mhm.
don't want to talk about her commitment to the role and what she had to do versus Chris Hemsworth. That's different.
Also, I've never seen Lois Lane as a damsel.
Yeah, she purposely puts herself in danger.
That's a discussion for
uh,
another day,
like
man.
Ed Harris got hired to act in The Abyss, not to be submerged in water for days while James Cameron demanded excellence. He hated that experience and refuses to talk about it. That's different from what I'm talking about with like Chris Hemsworth and Elizabeth Olsen. His life was in danger. I'm talking about like, oh, the script was bad, or oh, I missed out on a movie, or oh, this is not exactly what I thought it was going to be, or oh, blah blah blah. Let's talk of crap about the studio. James Cameron put Ed Harris' life in danger. That's completely different situation. Just like who was Kill Bill? Charlie Theron, not Charlie Theron. What's her name? The actress that played Kill
Uma
Bill.
Thurman.
Uma Thurman talking about how like she didn't know how to drive and they forced her to drive a car or she crashed. Talk about that because that's crazy. She almost died doing something.
I almost
Wow.
feel like, did you know that? Did you know you're going to be driving in the movie? Well, I guess they can hire a stunt double or whatever. Or no, they do things all the time where they just pull you on a rig. So what the hell are you doing making her drive? Yeah, I'm on her side. I'm on her side. What are you doing?
You know these scenes? It's just them being pulled, or it's the background pulling, and they're not
Right.
even driving.
And can you even legally do that? If you can't drive, are you allowed to drive?
That's a fact. Like, I don't have a driver license. Why am I
Right.
driving in this movie?
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, there's plenty
That's
of rigs you can pull people on. They do it all the time. Man, when I found out that driving in cars with like when the guy who turned out to be a jerk was in the car with the Migos and they were rapping along and blah 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 blah. I forget the guy's name. It was like driving a car with celebrities and they were like always doing like some music thing. I think it's like James Corners and or something crazy, right? You know who I'm talking about?
no.
Okay. Anyway, when I found out that they weren't actually driving the car, I was like, "Yo, what's up?
Mm.
That's whack." So they was out here turning the steering wheel and holding on. I'm like, "Oh, so y'all wasn't even driving? That's crazy. That's wild."
The movie magic.
James Corden, yeah. Thank you, T.
Justice Smith, LMAO. Viewer Drew said, "What's up? What's up, Viewer
What
Drew?"
up, you? What up, Drew?
He made some new cool Lego videos. Go check it out on his channel. He does some really dope
Mhm.
work. James Corden, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the rest of the conversation about James Gunn, because there's a lot that he talked about here. He talked about the movie industry and things like that, and he talked about, we talked about like finishing scripts. He talked about why we're not just getting the 7 Justice League members into a Justice League movie, right? A lot of people have been
Mhm.
questioning that, how he greenlit a Superman movie, then a Supergirl movie, and then we got the Lantern show, and then we got the Themyscira show, and we got all these different things that's not the main Justice League members. And a lot of people have been kind of questioning that for a long time, but he mostly talked about how he just got incredible scripts for all these films. Like, he felt like his Superman script and his idea and the think tank that he came up with had a great idea. The script from Supergirl, he said, was great from off the brat, like off the like right away. He didn't have to like tinker with it too much and just let her kind
Mhm.
of rewrite it multiple times. He said the Lantern script was amazing right away, and then he said the Clayface script, which was something that he wasn't even planning to do, was great right away. So, how do you feel about that process? Do you think it's better to just get the best scripts with these top? Because he's getting really good writers, right? We'll talk about that
Mhm.
as well. A Mike Flanagan, a Tom King, the what's the guy who did the Leftovers and Watchmen TV show, and Damon Lindelof, I think his name is Damian
Yeah.
Lindelof. Like, he's getting
No.
these guys who are top tier, like award winning writers to write these things. How do
Mhm.
you feel about him just right shooting the things that have the best scripts instead of maybe going in the order that we as fans would like?
This one is actually really difficult for me because I'm of two minds about it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that it makes sense that if you have something that's script ready to shoot it, right? Like, hey, this is great. Let's not wait. Let's just
Yeah.
put it out. And if the people like, so let's say if Clayface comes out similar to, I know he didn't have anything to do with this necessarily, but let's say Clayface comes out similar to like the way Penguin came out and it ends up being amazing. I
Yeah.
don't think people will care that much because it's amazing. It's great. What I do, but I do think that people see this is why I'm two minds about it, right?
Yeah.
Because part of one half of my brain is saying put that energy that you have towards making these other scripts towards the 7. The 7 are your bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
If you're getting all these great writers to write all these amazing things, why are they writing Clayface? Why are they writing a Themyscira show? Why are they writing like not Man Thing,
Lanterns.
not Man Thing, but Swamp Thing, right? And even
Oh, I
though
forgot about that. Yeah.
Swamp Thing
Swamp
sounds
Thing.
dope. It sounds dope, and all of them I'm interested in. But it's kind of like you sound more like a fan than a
Mm.
executive,
Studio head.
the
Mm-hmm.
studio head, because it's like, oh man, this script was great. Let's make it. It's like, wait, hold on, but the plan and the strategic thing to do would be to get your 7 stars out there first, and then start making these ancillary characters and allowing them to branch off from your bread and butter, your Batmans, your Supermans, your Wonder Womans, your Flash, your Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Cyborg, and the Teen Titans. Right, that's your DC bread and butter. If you come out with Superman, and then you come out with Themyscira, and then you come out with Green Lanterns, a TV show, and then well, the TV shows. I mean, Hal Jordan's there, so
It's a
good,
little different, yeah.
yeah. And so is John Stewart, good,
Yeah.
right?
But even like
Um,
Superman into Supergirl into Clayface.
I
That
don't,
order just
I
seems
don't
weird.
mind Supergirl because we know who Superman is, and we've known him for years, right? We
Yeah.
and for the most part,
Decades.
most people know of Supergirl, right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of a okay, especially if it's like a direct sequel to or spinoff or sequel to Superman, right? It's like okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense, right? But at the same time, the other things that you're having cooking need to be cooking. It's like if you announce a Batman movie and then you announce that a Nightwing movie is coming out a year later, I'm not mad at that. If you announce a Batman movie or a Superman movie and then tell me Themyscira is coming out, I'm like, what are we doing? Right? So it's kind of like a two-edged sword. It's like, okay, you got these great scripts, awesome, but your bread and butter is the seven. It's those seven, right? It feels disjointed, and it doesn't necessarily feel well. It sounds disjointed, and it sounds like a universe that's kind of fractured, and it's almost like he's saying, "We're going to thought experiment, right? We're making a Superman movie because we have a great script for it. We're making all these other things because we have a great script for it. What if he never gets a great script for Batman? Not never, but what if he gets a great script for Batman 5 years from now? We'd be like, hey, and then 2 years from then is when Batman would actually come out because that's how long it takes to make a movie. It's like, oh, wait, so you're just doing the best scripts first. We may not get a Flash movie until 10 years from now because he didn't see the script he liked. Focus
Yeah.
on the seven. And now I'm stopping my filibuster. Sorry.
And I want to. So this is something I was gonna bring up later, but like, because you keep doing these things, I'm gonna feed into it. But let me get into the quick comments that we just got,
My
and then
bad.
I'm gonna tie into what you just said. So, user skill says, "Nah, to me, a job like anything else, just because the studios has a reputation, doesn't mean you're allowed to shit on. You aren't allowed to shit on them. We can shit on Apple, but working Genius Bar sucks. I definitely see your point, but also shitting on stuff does have consequences when you're at a certain level, right? Like if you are a just an employee of, working the Genius Bar or selling the phone, I get complaining about your day job like I do. I'm just spoken the wheel. But when you're representing a character that, like, or representing a character, you're the face of the franchise, it's a little different or something. You won't see whoever's a spokesperson or commercial for Apple shitting on Apple after they did the commercial, unless they're not doing the deal with them no more. If you're still Wanda Maximoff or Thor or what's gonna be Madam Web continually, it's weird that you're shitting on them and then be like, "Yo, keep paying me and let's do the next movie." Like it's a little weird.
Mm.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it here. You can't have the Justice League without Batman. I agree.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
for sure.
having the Avengers without Cap, like, or Iron Man.
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah. It is weird.
I have a theory. Gunn has his Batman cast, and W are just waiting to see the response for Superman before they proceed. Okay, so let's get into this Batman conversation because I think it's interesting that you talked about we may never see, because the title of this video is Batman. James Gunn thinks Batman is impossible. There's a reason why we named it that. So we have the Batman from a couple years ago. When did that movie come out?
Jeez.
2022.
2022?
2022 probably. So we know we had the Penguin spinoff. We're supposed to be getting another spinoff with Catwoman and her sister. And they still doing the Gotham PD Arkham Asylum
Mm.
spinoff.
Mhm.
Speaking of Batman, he's named after the Batman character. Um, but Matt Reeves' Batman 2, right, has been long gestated for a long time.
2020.
And 2022. And for not obvious reasons, but for reported reasons, Matt Reeves has been going through something personal, and that's why it's been taking so long for him to get the script done. And James Gunn is not shooting anything until the script done. And I know he doesn't want to replace Matt Reeves because if I feel like he'll get a response like when they try to replace Zack Snyder. I think we're gonna start getting. Where's the Reeves cut? And where he doesn't want to even. He doesn't even want to sniff a situation like that in the beginning of his franchise just starting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe 15 years down the line, he could be like, you know what, you're not getting it done. I'm replacing you with somebody else, but not right now.
Mhm.
So it's taken a long time for Matt Reeves to get the Batman script off the ground. Now we're talking about the DCU Batman, which is supposed to be a separate person. And he said in this article that that's the hardest thing for him to crack right now. He's working with the writer of Batman Brave and the World, Brave and the what's it called, Brave and the Bold, and they're having a hard time figuring out how to do Batman because they have the Matt Reeves Batman, which made $700 million. People really, really enjoyed that film. People want to see more from that universe and more from that version of Batman. But how do you make a Batman that's different from him, but still worth having without making them campy? Because he said he's not interested in making a campy Batman. He's not interested in making a jokey Batman. He wants to make a dark, serious Batman. So how do you feel about that? You said, we may never see Batman because he may not like a script. He just said it feels impossible or it's the most difficult thing to crack it. And he's working with the writer, but they have a Batman right there. What do you think are the possible options for them to do with this conundrum?
I know one thing: they better not put Matt Reeves Batman into the DCU. And the reason why I say that is because I think that Batman is better off being in his own universe. It's set up for him to be in his own universe. And the last thing I want that Batman could it happen, right? And they write it well enough for it to work, sure. But that Batman in that universe, I'm interested in them telling that story, not convoluting it with a whole universe of superheroes, right? I'm cool with that being its own thing. As far as having difficulty with writing Batman and Brave and the Bold, I find that interesting. Not to say that that's not possible for that to be difficult, but the reason why I find it interesting is because apparently Batman, or I'm sorry, Superman is based off of All Star Superman, right? Or Superman Legacy, I think. One of
No,
those
All
two.
Star Superman. That's what
All
it's
Star
based
Superman.
off.
This one here,
Yeah.
which I have not read, so I don't know. I just own it. And obviously Supergirl's based off of Supergirl Woman of
Woman of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And they were able to translate that script into or translate that story into a book. And apparently Batman's based off of Batman Brave and the Bold. Why is this story the one that's difficult to translate? Right? And but at the same time, that's one I have read. And Damien and introducing Damien is convoluted in the comic books. so
Yeah.
So, yo, like she raped him, artificially
Yeah.
inseminated the herself with his sperm, and she's part of the League of Assassins, babies, all the stuff like that. Us comic book fans, people who know the story, oh, that's really easy to do. Let Grandma walk in there. What? What happened? The League of
What was Batman?
her father, Talia, she got the. There's so much stuff to get through just to get to Damien. Like, there's so much backstory there. So I understand why it would be difficult, which is kind of why you're like, don't start there.
That's what I'm thinking. I like don't start there. And you know what also bothers me about that is the fact that Superman is going to be in his late 20s, early 30s, and then this Batman is going to have 3 kids. So he has to be because Nightwing and Red Hood are going to both be adults. They're getting their own animated spinoff that's tied into this DCU. So if they're adults already and probably around the same age as Superman, Batman has to be at least 45, maybe getting close to 50. I want the 7 to kind of be in the same age range.
Yeah, that's
Other than Martian the Manhunter, he doesn't need to be. But
No,
everybody else
he
should.
could be 1,000 for all we care. But like, or 1 for all we care. He's an alien. He can do whatever the hell he wants, right? But like, I do find that to be weird because, like you just said, like Batman and Superman are close enough in age to have conversations like me and you, 35, 35. Us having a conversation with a 20-year-old is not the same. right? It's like
Yeah.
they're all like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Skibbity
Like,
toilet. And I'm like, huh?
skibbity beady blah. I was like, "What are you saying, Dark? What are you saying, Toby? I don't know what you.
What are you
What are you
saying,
talking?
TJ?
What are you saying, TJ?" We are literally 10 years older than some of the people. 10 years
I
plus
know.
older. Anyway,
I know.
but it's like part of the relationship there is them being able to have adult conversations. I'm not talking about sexual. I'm talking about like adult. Like we've been through something. We've been
Yeah.
paying bills and saving worlds for a minute now, right? So that age gap is weird. But to get to your Batman being difficult point, bro, take that writer off of Clayface and put his ass on Batman. What are we talking about here? Well, we got great writers everywhere.
One point I got to say about that
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
that you don't want to force someone that because Mike Flanagan
Sure.
came to James Gunn with this idea.
Okay.
So you don't want to take somebody like, yeah, that's good, but write this Batman shit. Like, because he's gonna be like, well, I don't have anything for this. You know,
Yeah.
like if you force someone to maybe write a Batman story, he may make it a Clayface movie featuring Batman, and then there's a problem. Like, for example, I want to talk about Spawn, right?
Hmm.
Spawn, the movie, right, was pitched as a movie where Spawn is not the main character, kind of. The two cops in his universe are, and
Oh,
Spawn is like
I
this
hate those.
scary, yeah, is the scary guy in the background. You've seen him. He's like this monster throughout the film. That sounds like a cool idea for me and you who are nerds, but I can see the studio going, but how are we gonna sell this, right?
Right.
Like, this movie's called Spawn, right?
It should be about
How are we
him.
gonna? It got to be about him. Like,
Be
how are we
about
gonna sell that? I would love a creative idea like that, right? Like, that's actually sounds really cool. I've
Yeah.
always wanted like a Batman thing like that,
Hmm.
where they showed Batman more and like he's like a horror person, and you're seeing it from the villain's point of views, and maybe giving them some heart. You're like, oh, I feel bad for this person, but he's doing a bad thing, and now Batman's
Right.
about to break his arm.
That because
Um,
what you're talking about sounds like an episode of an animated series, not like a
yeah,
feature length movie. Right. I love those
yeah,
episodes when you get to see the perspective of the hero from a civilian or a different character in the universe. That's great. I don't want to see that as. I'm not going to say I don't want to see that as a movie. That wouldn't be my preference. It could turn out to be the greatest thing ever, right? I don't want to shut
yeah.
out any ideas like without prejudice. I think that's what the kids call it. But yeah, that doesn't sound like a great idea. But yeah, I think it goes back to the point of focus on the set. Like they're your bread and butter. I'm surprised that David Zaslav. Well, I don't know what David Zaslav knows, but like it's like, hey,
I
you're
can tell you
doing
right now.
mascara before Batman? You sure about that?
I can tell you
Now,
right now. He don't know nothing. You want to know why he don't know nothing? Because
because
a
he's
couple weeks
splitting
ago
up.
he said, "No, that's fine. That's smart. He should
Yeah,
have never mixed Discovery and Warner Brothers together in the first place. Warner Brothers is premium television and movies. Discovery is junk. So you don't mix the two together." Because a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 months ago, he said the pillars of the DCU are Batman, Superman, and Supergirl. Those are going to be the three pillars and the trinity of the DCU. That's the words he used. And then James Gunn had to come out later in the interview. Go, that's interesting. I don't know if that's the exact way I would picture that, but Supergirl will be an important part. He don't know what the hell is going on.
yeah,
He just know that the Supergirl movie's coming out and he's trying to sell it. That's why he said that. Because he's like, if you're gonna put all this effort in making the Supergirl movie, she better be a pillar of the universe.
yeah.
That's what he's probably in his head. Um, so I can see maybe Mike Flanagan doing a Batman movie and then making it where like Clayface is still the main character and then Batman's like this horror aspect. That's why I was bringing up the Spawn thing,
Mhm.
because that could what happen if you try to force him to do that, right? But you talk about age gaps, right? I
Mhm.
think the age gap is fixed if you just make Robert Pattinson the DCU Batman, because him and
Oh, but he's
Gabe
young.
Corsett's character,
Oh wait, that's
by
why.
the time Batman 2 comes out, and Robert Pattinson even said that, he said, I'm going to have kids. Like, I'm
Mm,
going to be an old man. He's in his 30s. Both of them in their 30s. They both
yeah.
kind of look around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
They fit with each other better than if you do a Batman that has a bunch of kids with a versus a Superman that's in year 2 or 3 that is a puppy. You know,
My
I
only
got a
issue,
dog.
my only issue with that is now I've never seen these two men standing next to each other,
Mm,
but David Cornsweet, from what I can tell, looks like he would tower over Robert Pattinson.
I'm gonna look it up
Um,
right now.
Granted, Superman is supposed to be bigger, but whenever you see them next to each other, they kind of look the same in stature.
Kind of, yeah. Depends who's drawing it. So David Cornsweet is
Yeah,
2 inches taller than Robert Pattinson.
like yeah, I mean he's like they're a little like,
Yeah,
but they're kind of
he's
like so. If Corn Sweat is standing next to Robert Pattinson's about a third of the size of this Batman, and Corn Sweat is kind of this size, so it's kind of like
it's 6'3" versus 6'1". It's not that bad.
it's not. But you could be a tall string bean. You know what I mean? Like it's not about
Yeah,
height; it's about girth. You know what I mean? Girth. If
and
this
Batman
brother
Superman
had a few
should look
more
more
inches,
girthy than Batman. He should look more girthy. That's a wild thing I just
this is
said.
a crazy,
I'm moving on. Let's
crazy.
look at some comments before we continue. Because that I can't believe I just said that out loud. Um. Also, Kenny, stop apologizing for going on rants. We're here for the rants, brother. I tell him that off screen, but he's always talking about filler busting and stuff. They want to see. They're here for you. They want to hear you doing
I mean,
that. They are screwing this Batman thing all up. Batman is their one true moneymaker. You can do the Batman in the DCU without making it Batman and Robin.
you could do a
I
DCU
think
without who?
you can do the DCU without making it Batman and Robin. They're saying you don't have to make Batman and Robin to do it. I think that you do because we haven't seen a serious take of Batman and Robin. We keep seeing Batman by himself. We've seen multiple iterations like that. I think we need to see Batman and giving that responsibility to a kid and what that actually means and that being explored.
It would have helped differentiate him from the Batmans that we've seen previously for sure.
Yeah,
Because everyone that we've seen before who's not unserious like Batman and Robin and Batman
forever.
Forever. Yeah, it's been kind of unserious. So to see a serious actual Robin, not counting whatever the hell was going on with that's not
Dark
Jake
Knight
Gyllenhaal.
Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. I think that that's a little different, and I think we
Yeah.
should see a actual uh, child wonder. Saying boy wonder just makes my skin crawl. That
Also,
feels
even with Batman
little.
Forever and Batman and Robin, that Robin was a man. That was a grown man when he became
Oh yeah.
Robin. It wasn't like he took a child in and made him Robin. That's just
Mm.
so crazy saying this. Um,
Because the situation is crazy.
huh?
Like the situation is crazy. Batman is forcing us into having a weird situation. Like it, like I mean, I feel like it should be a child. I think he should just take a child and make him a soldier. You know, train him up, let him go out at night and fight bad guys. I don't care if he's 12, 11, 13. Kill like like go up against Two Face, who's got you tied up and put a bomb on your chest, and Batman saves him, and they go back out the next night, and no one cares. The commissioner, the police commissioner, does not care that a 13-year-old is out here with a bomb on his chest, dressed up in skimpy shorts and with a yellow and red cape. The commissioner don't care. And then we
I
gotta
never
talk
thought
about
about
it.
that.
We gotta talk about it. Like, yeah, they really should introduce Robin because you know he's a central part of the figure. You got to introduce a 13-year-old boy. Like we sound crazy because of Batman. Anyway,
Oh, that was amazing. See, this is why we're here for the rants, because that is hilarious. Because I never thought about that. The cops never do anything about the fact that this man has a child
right.
next to him every 5 years. Like, if it
A
Dick
different
Grayson,
child. Every couple
Jason
years.
Todd, Bat Gordon, what's her name? Barbara Gordon.
Robert Gordon, yeah.
and then one of them get killed, and then he gets another one.
Yo, Barbara Gordon in the Batman animated series had the same red hair as she does when she's around her father, and she just has it flowing out of the back. Same hairdo, same red hair. The only redhead outside of Poison Ivy, I think, in the entire city. And it's like, I have no idea who that woman is. The same build. The same build. That's your daughter, nigga. Like she's standing next to you. You don't know who she
Same voice. She don't use a voice changer.
Same voice. The best episode was the episode where I think Batman was dreaming that Batgirl had got killed and Commissioner X.
Oh, that was so good.
That's such a good episode. But yeah,
such a good episode.
Yeah.
TJ says, I don't know how two Batmans are going to work on screen at the same time. I know it will confuse general audience, but then again, skill issue on general audience. Other than the skill issue on the general audience, my thing is, if you have a new universe, you're trying to get audience confidence, and you need the general audience to make these movies work, don't challenge them that. Like, you're already going to be challenging them with Superman, right? Superman's going to have robots. It's going to have kaijus. It's going to have these superheroes that they've never heard of before. Mm-hmm. Now you're like, well, we're going to have two Supermans. Well, is it a multiverse? No. It's just that this one was here, and we don't want to have it in the universe, so you can choose. It's like, you can choose which one you want to follow. And you don't want to tell them, choose which one you want to follow. Because then they might just not watch one.
Yeah.
I kind of want Reeves Batman separate. If we get an Arkham Batman fighting fantastical villains in the DCU, would be preferable for me. I don't see anything that happened in The Batman why he can't find fantastical villains. He jumped off a building, flew, got hit by a bus, he got up. Like, think about that. He got electrocuted, fell 50, well, I mean, not 50 feet, but several feet from the ground and hit the floor and got up and saved people.
I think people forget, too, because, not you, TJ, I'm not talking about you, but I think the funniest thing for me is people like, yeah, they need to do quarter owls. Them niggas is zombies. They are undead. They are undead ninjas. Like, what? Like, oh yeah, but keep it grounded. It's like, I think the whole part about them is that they're not grounded.
Yeah. The
But
Dark Knight has really ruined Batman a little bit in terms of, like, people think he needs to stay grounded. It's like, no.
Yeah. Well, I challenge that sometimes. I feel like I think people who are casual fans of Batman, who have seen The Dark Knight and that's their first experience with him, I think that makes sense, and people may think that that's the way he should be. But at the same time, we are also the same generation that grew up with Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Brave and the Bold, the kids love. Like, we've had
Batman television show.
Like, we've had that's a really good show.
So good.
It's a real underrated. They had a Jamaican Joker in there, and like, it was.
I love that Joker.
It was dope, man. I love that show. But yeah, I think that I think our audiences need to be challenged, and this is one of the things that I love about what James Gunn is doing with Superman. You bring in crypto. It's like, oh, I didn't know a dog could be a superhero. People who aren't as familiar, it's like, yeah, look, we have a dog, and he's going to help fight the kaiju and the robots and the Metamorpho and the Green Lantern and that black guy who's riding around on that machine that looks like a chair, like and the girl with the wings. It's like, yo, man, we in the comic book universe. Get with it. Hit it and quit. That has nothing to do with this conversation. But yeah, like, but yeah, as far as Robert Pattinson, I don't know if he fits here because, like I said, I don't think he's just as big as Cornsweat. Like,
if this brother had a few more inches, oh Lord, don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things. Oh my God!
Whoa, Stephen A. My goat. What are you talking about? Hold up. I gotta leave. I need to end stream. What? I need to delete that. You can never use that again, sir. Did he not realize what he was saying in that clip? Holy moly!
If this
I think
had
you
a
muted
few
yourself.
more inches, it's crazy. It's
That is
salivating.
it. That is the craziest. We was saying borderline wild stuff this whole stream. That it just starts off crazy. Don't get me salivating. Alright. Yo, what's up to Ace Avenue?
What could he possibly be talking about?
Yo, there's no context where that works.
Oh my god!
I'm tearing up. Oh my god. Although I would actually love Matt Reeves' Batman to be part of the DCU. I think he has a part 2 to that. And what did I do? Skibbity? That was the response.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god. John Derry says, to be honest, I personally think Reeves' Batman should go. Ooh. And they should put their primary focus on ensuring DCU Batman can work. They don't have to make us believe that Robin can work as well. That's interesting. Yeah. He's like, just get that. He's like, make it a one-off. Get him out of here. That's interesting.
It could work it as a one-off because what's his name? Riddler, open and shut case. That case is over. It's done.
Yeah.
You really don't have to continue that story. But I would like them to. I would like them to.
They're not doing Penguin season 2 either, so it's like,
yeah. And they also, I really don't feel like they need a Penguin season part because integrate him back into the Batman movie. Like that's what he was there for. We built him up. Now he's ready for prime time again, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alan Smith, welcome to the live stream. First time seeing you. Is James Gunn directing everything after Superman? No, he's not. He's only directing Superman, and then he said he's working on another DC project. But the director of Batman: Brave and the Bold so far is who directed Flash again? What's his name? Have Google. Why am I asking?
Yeah, I was about to say.
It Chapter 1. He also directed It.
Which one?
Andres Muschietti, or whatever you say his name is.
I think, yeah. Which It did he direct?
He directed both of them.
Chapter 2 was awful. Chapter 1 was great. Chapter 2 was awful.
Yeah, that's why I hear. I didn't get to finish it.
James Gunn has done Creature Commandos. He's done Superman, and he's doing another season of
Peacemaker.
Yeah,
and I think he's doing Waller as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which he confirmed is not canceled, and it's also not getting bundled up into Checkmate, which people thought. Apparently, there's a Checkmate show being made, and they thought that they were going to bundle Checkmate into Waller, and now he's like, no. He said,
I don't know.
He said Checkmate will be a spinoff out of Waller. Checkmate is like just another organization in the DC universe that I think captures metahumans and uses them for terrorist shit.
DC got a lot of organizations.
Yeah, Marvel does too, but they don't use them
too. But you hear a lot more about DC's organizations. They got Argus, and they got all.
They got a lot.
They got a lot. They stay organized.
They stay organized. Although I love Matt Reeves' Batman to be in DCU, I think they should do a Batman Beyond and have old introduce live action Static Shock. But yeah, Batman Beyond has to be in the future. That's not going to fit within what we're doing now. I think that's the main issue.
I think that's actually a benefit because you don't have to. I mean, you kind of do, but you don't really have to abide by a lot of the rules of what's going on now. Like you can legitimately ignore everything that's happening now. Except for like if Robin dies, you can't have him be alive in Batman Beyond, right? That like those are the things that you have to coordinate. Or if like Batman gets a scar here, he has to have a scar in the future movie, which I guess there's some complications with that. But for the most part, you can really tell your own stories. But once again, they have to fit into the villains and blah, blah, blah. So I guess it's more difficult than what I'm making it sound.
Yeah. And also we just need a Batman for Justice League. Like we definitely need that.
True.
I have a hunch that if Superman does $1 billion plus in the box office, I ain't gonna lie, I do not think that movie's making $1 billion.
No,
no. There's too much going on in July. It's just too much. Jurassic World, Fantastic Four,
Mm,
people sleeping on the Smurf movie with Rihanna. Honestly, once that movie starts marketing, I'm not watching it.
yeah.
But kids are going to watch that movie, and it's a
That's
musical.
true.
And then also,
That's
I know what you
true.
did last summer. Also, might do really, really well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's possible. It's just the hype is out the wazoo. But I don't hear anybody that's not a geek talking about Superman yet.
Is there
That's
a
like a huge
problem
thing.
with August that I don't know about? Is there something I need to know about August? What did August do to like just get the
To get
nod?
nothing.
Nothing. Every year is nothing, right?
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
except for last year because they did the Alien Romulus and that was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had Alien Romulus and Borderlands last year. That
But
was all.
Alien Romulus lucked out. That was supposed to go to Hulu, and they changed it. Thank God they changed
Thank
their
God.
minds.
Yeah, that was great to watch.
Yeah, it just looks so good. That does not look like a streaming movie.
Nope.
David Zales will fast track the sequel, and the director of Supergirl may end up directing it if Supergirl is good. Thoughts? David Zales will fast track the sequel of Superman, and the director for Supergirl may end up directing it if Supergirl is good. So I I don't think the way James Gunn is talking,
Mhm.
Zaslav is not in control of what projects get greenlit, right? I think maybe if things go haywire, he'll put a tighter rope on James Gunn. But I think right now he's letting Gunn do what he's doing because he knows about comics. And I don't think Zaslav knows anything about comics. I don't want to say that because Superman does a Billy, he's going to force him to make another one. Because I just think he said he's working on the second movie. I think he's gonna trust them to do a couple movies and see how it goes. And then if it's like, okay, Supergirl doesn't work, Clayface doesn't work, he's like, well, look, Superman made a Billy, go make another Superman, right? I think that may be what happened. But as of right now, I want to believe that Zaslav doesn't have the control to greenlight a movie while James Gunn is there, because it sounds like James Gunn has control of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the second part of what John said was that he'll fast forward it and make the director of Superman direct Supergirl,
Supergirl,
or no, I'm
yeah,
sorry, director of Supergirl direct Superman. If
yeah,
if Superman makes $1 billion, I think that Zaslav would chain James Gunn to his desk
Superman.
and make him do Superman. I don't think you're putting another director on that at all. But yeah,
Unless
anyway,
somehow Supergirl makes more money than Superman. I think that's the only way, and that's not going to happen.
yeah. But yeah, let's keep going.
T said, "Hey yo, hey yo."
I think this is the Robins.
And we also got another "Hey yo."
Oh, okay, my bad.
Movie time
What
minute.
up,
What's
DJ?
up?
DJ, please pick
DJ,
up your
DJ,
phone.
DJ.
I'm on the express line. Y'all young folk don't know nothing.
Hey, bars.
Look up Missy Elliott. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Missy
Also,
Misdemeanor.
movie time minute. Even though his name is Movie Time Minute, he does video game content on his channel, and his videos have been rocking. He's been doing so
Bang.
well. So congratulations to DJ. Go check him out if you are into video games. He does coverage on Fortnite and other things as well. Let's get nuts. Let's have 6 different Batmans. Can never have enough Batman. And let's have a movie with all the Batmans, not multiverse. Make all of them canon in one universe.
That would be great. And
That
you
is
can
hilarious.
do it because of Batman Inc.
Oh my God! Yeah, we can
Batcow.
have we can have the one from Africa. We can have Lucius Fox's son. We can have Dick Grayson take over the mantle a little bit. We can have, I don't know. We can have who's the black kid that is Signal. You could just have him be Batman. I forgot what his name is. I mean, Batman and Robin is the silly Joel Schumacher movie. Yeah. You can have Batman and DC and not be completely whimsical. That's what James Gunn said. He doesn't want him to be whimsical. He wants him to be serious. Show Kings. First of all, welcome to the live stream, Show Kings.
Welcome.
He said, pause. Robin is a victim. That's a complicated situation, right? Like, Robin could have went into the orphanage foster system and been abused by someone and taken advantage of, or he could have lived in a mansion, had everything he needs to take care of, and then fight crime at night. You know what I mean?
These are some wild wild options. There
But
has to
Robin
be.
also was gonna do it anyway. People don't think that Robin was out here about to go just kill people, and
Yeah,
Batman
but
was
you
like, you
don't
know what?
just because you just because
How you just out here showing Batcow?
that
No, don't put me on the screen with Batcow by himself. You can't leave me here.
that's your man's. Uh,
That's my man's. I do love Damien.
that's your
But yeah.
cows. Um, but yeah, no, like the options are strange, right? But oh yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Just because he was gonna go out and do it anyway, don't mean that you fund it. Like that's crazy. He was gonna go out and fight crime anyway. I gave him a freaking helicopter. Like wait, time out. This is your logic? Also, we need to talk about how Alfred is the real criminal. But that's neither nor there.
He let that man travel the world, train, and come back, not doing his job,
Right,
and
right.
as a young man, 21, become Batman, and he was his guardian. You're right. As long as he solves crimes, Commissioner gets paid. He don't care.
He don't give a fuck. He don't care. That's why
James
I
Gunn
love
needs to
the
introduce
Commissioner
Batman
Gordon
family to
in
really stand out.
my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying that's why I love the Commissioner Gordon in the Harley Quinn show. Like he's just the worst in a mess. He's great.
Yeah, he's hilarious in that show.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn needs to introduce Batman family to really stand out. We've seen solo Bruce story already. It gets old. A lot of kids today need a new look at the mythology behind them. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do two different Batmen, that's the only way it makes sense. If you
Yeah.
have the whole Bat family around him.
Yeah.
Show King says DC really sucks. They don't have any real characters anymore. I'm not sure what that means. Can you expound upon that, Show King? What do you mean by real characters?
Yeah. Tell us what you mean by that, because just tell us what you mean by that.
Because in my opinion, they have the best characters. They have better characters than Marvel.
I didn't say that, but
I'm just saying my opinion. My opinion.
No,
I
yeah,
think they just have the better characters.
peace and love, brother. But
When you put the Avengers 6 versus the Justice League 7, I just think that character.
well, if you're
by
comparing
view-wise-
those two teams, sure, but outside of them,
or you're talking about like the
Spider-Man,
X-Men.
X-Men, there's so many. But I will say, DC got some great characters. Like, if y'all haven't read this Green Lantern run by Jeff Johns, this John, even though this looks a little wacky, this is it. This John right here,
That's mad good.
look, Batman. We were just talking about Batman.
And there he's in every comic.
Being a jerk to the Green Lantern. But yeah,
Bruce Wayne, Juice Wayne, John Wayne, I don't care. I need to see some type of Batman interact with David Gordon's Superman. This sounded like us, not Stephen A. What's his name? Shannon Sharp. Batman in 5.
Batman in 5.
But one thing why I say that I think DC's characters are better, because each of them are their own little universes. Like, you can make a whole universe just off Superman.
Yeah,
You could do that with Green Lantern.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like what you were saying about the Bat family, it's like the Bat family is a whole, like, I'm basically repeating what you said, a whole universe unto itself. But then you go to like Superman, he's got himself. He's got his red version, his blue version, Superboy, Superboy Prime. Lex became Superman at one point. You got Steel. You got
Supergirl.
Supergirl, Superwoman. Like it's
Superwoman.
like it's
a lot.
a lot.
It's a
And
lot.
there's
Wonder
consistent-
Woman, the same thing. The
Crypto.
whole Themyscira.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has Themyscira. Green Lantern has a whole Star Wars like universe. I keep saying, if they treat
Yo.
Green Lantern like Star Wars,
This
that
is
shit
Star
would
Wars,
pop.
bro.
it would
This
pop.
is crazy work. Blackest Night on the big screen?
Insane.
Crazy.
Immediate Billy.
Yeah.
If you can have aliens, metahumans, sorcerers, aka Cersei from Creature Commandos, then we can have Robin and Batgirl. Is only fair. My only pushback on that is that, one, Creature Commandos was animated. Two, nobody watched that shit.
I watched it. But no, I think
watched it too, but you know what I mean.
it was good. But I think the only things that separates Creature Commandos from doing like a Bat Family is expectations.
Yeah.
There's huge expectations on a Bat Family. If you get Bat Family wrong, even though the internet thinks everything is wrong, um, it'll be catastrophic. If you get Creature Commandos wrong, well, who's that? Oh, who? Oh, all right, my bad. All right, whatever. When's Superman coming out? Like that's basically how they're going to treat that. If Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one flopped, they'd be like, when's Winter Soldier coming out? But yeah,
Yeah,
so
when's Cap coming back?
yeah, but it didn't, and it was great. I'm sitting really low.
And I think that speaks to what Show Kings is saying. He's right. He said they need to produce different movie with new characters, like Superman, what the F, or Batman again, what the hell. So, like, it's happening with the Marvel Universe, right? Like, they went through their major characters with the Avengers 6. They shifted to some lesser characters taking over mantles and characters that were background characters becoming main characters. And people are like, where's Cap? Where's Iron Man? Where's Thor? Where, like, they're ignoring these characters, whether the movie is great like Shang-Chi, or I'm trying to think of another movie. Or no, what was another movie that was really good that didn't do well? Because Black Panther did well. It did made 800 million. That's nothing to scoff at.
A movie that was great. Thunderbolts was great. I enjoyed that.
They completely ignored that, right? Like
Yeah.
they completely ignored that. There's a bunch of shows they ignored. So yeah, you could try to make new characters, but you have to have the established characters, and then you can spin off everybody, right? Like if I was to make the DCU, right? Like if it was like, hey Zach, we know you're a nobody, but we know you read 400 comics.
First of
Help
all,
us craft. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I'm gonna do the 7 first. I'm gonna do the 7. I'm gonna force these writers like, look, give me the 7, right?
Right.
But each of them are a separate thing. Superman's a look into aliens that look human, right? That's when you can start spinning off a bunch of different aliens that look human. Where are the heroes? Martian Manhunter is a world into aliens that don't look like humans and what that means for them.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman taps you into the gods. Flash taps you into time travel. Green Lantern puts you into space.
Yep, space.
Batman introduces you to all the vigilantes, so you start getting Green Arrow. You start getting all these other people who are vigilantes that he can interact with. You can even do weird ones like that. Like each of the 7 introduces you. Aquaman starts doing weird fish shit, which also kind of taps into the gods. So like you can start. It starts. That's how you get these weird characters. But if you just go straight and you want to do a Zatanna movie, that shit not gonna pop.
Why are we doing Zatanna? Like this early?
Ayo, pause.
Was, Stephen A.
We got some New Yorkers in here, bruh. Whole show is a huge ayo tonight. The girthy Cavo, then Stephen.
That's hilarious.
Stephen Ayo is amazing. I can agree with that. Andy, a Batman or Green Arrow or Vigilante movie directed by Waterhill would be beast. Waterhill, who is that? Is that Water or Walter? Walter Hill. Who is he and what has he done? He's done 48 Hours, which is a classic.
That's a great movie.
Did he direct Alien 3? No, right? Wasn't that Ridley Scott? No.
I hope not. Alien 3 was triggity trash.
Oh, that was David Fincher. What? Oh, wait, did I watch it? I didn't watch Alien 3. I watched Alien Resurrection. That's different. I haven't watched most of this director's stuff, but he doesn't seem, based on like what the movies are, somebody that would direct a Batman movie. But maybe you're seeing something I'm not. Maybe it's possible. Okay, now knowing who's directing Batman Brave and the Bold, I can see why they don't have a good movie yet. Oh, damn. Damn, you, Cisco. That's crazy. That guy doesn't know how to close movies out. The end of The Flash was a mess. It Chapter 2 was a mess. The August, we got Weapons. That's it. Oh, yeah. We are getting Weapons in August. So I'm excited for that. I think Superman is about to kill it this summer and outperform FF and keep up with Jurassic Park. What's interesting about Jurassic Park right now is looking like it's going to be the lowest grossing Jurassic Park movie. So it might not be as big as we thought it was going to be.
I can see that. They're going to be abused. You know they're going to say on the YouTubes.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make as much because they got a woman and a Negro in there.
Yep.
Starring up the joint.
So DEI Jurassic Park.
DEI Park.
DEI Park. That's what they're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Critical race theory Jurassic. Rather not be poor and abused. Facts. I'd rather be rich and abused than poor and abused. You know what I mean? Anthony! He said, how are you doing, buddy? Doing, by the way, I'm up to 2 out of 3 in my memoirs. Nice. And he's going to see How to Train Your Dragon. Damn, I thought I was going to be able to get through one live stream without unsubbing Zach, but then he said that shit about Marvel and DC and still ain't watched Jurassic Park. I'm out. What's wrong with what I said about Marvel and DC? You think Marvel has better characters? That's fine. They can't afford to do those stories. They need to scale the budgets down on these movies to get them more return on their investments. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we're at a point where they can't scale these budgets down to any lower. Like, James Gunn shot Superman so fast, right? Like, he shot it so fast. The whole movie was in and out really quickly, right? Faster than any Marvel movie that we have seen in a long time. And the budget is still $180 million. So if he's shooting this shit in an efficient way, how do you get the budget down lower than that? I just think it's just too VFX heavy. Like, Batman shouldn't be $180 million. I don't think that needs to be that. That should be closer to like maybe 100, maybe even 90. But I don't see how you can get it down any lower. My last question of the night, do you guys have a fan casting for a new Wonder Woman? What do you think it can do different from Gal Gadot? My choice is Monica Barbaro. So, we were going to talk about this. I had this topic up since he brought it up now before we get the next comment. James Gunn also talked about Wonder Woman, right? And how that is now a priority, thank God, in the DCU. And the script is currently being written. And the Themyscira show is also a priority and getting that off the ground. And we are going to get a new Wonder Woman in the DCU. I don't know what Gal Gadot was talking about maybe last year or 2 years ago that she was going to be in Wonder Woman 3. I don't know. She was tripping. Now, he said that Wonder Woman is a lot easier to do because there hasn't been that many iterations, right? We had her in Justice League Unlimited. We had two solo animated movies, and then we had Gal Gadot, her 2 movies, and it also obviously the Justice League films, but not a lot of prominent versions of Wonder Woman, not like Batman, Superman, and how some of the Marvel characters have gotten multiple iterations like Spider-Man and X-Men. Yeah. So you could kind of do different things with Wonder Woman because there's not one lockdown version of her in everyone's mind. I think. What, in your opinion, I have 2 questions. The first one is, in your opinion, what direction do you think they should take Wonder Woman? Do you think she should be the loving heart, I hug people and I'm nice and I love everyone kind of character? Or do you think she should be the fierce warrior that cuts heads and hates men?
I don't know about hates men, because I don't think she hates men. I think she hates humans. But no, I think she hates the evil in humanity. I don't think she necessarily hates men. Anyway, but to answer your question, I think she should be the fish out of war. I will kill your ass right now. Why are you talking to me like this? Because I feel like Wonder Woman, the best version of Wonder Woman, has always been this person who is. It's almost like the person who. It's like, this is going to sound insane. It's like Jackie Chan in Jackie Chan movies, right?
What?
Whenever you see Jackie Chan in a Jackie Chan movie, his character is like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to, I don't want any problems. I don't understand why you guys are treating me like this. I was very nice to you when you came in the door. I was very nice to you. I showed you over here. I met you. I shook your hand, blah, blah, blah. But then you punched that old lady, and now I have to whoop your ass. She is very much like she's ready to fight. She's not about the BS, but she's also not just like trying to fight because she's just trying to fight. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
She's not like, Goku.
She's not Goku, right? It's Goku's BS. Goku might be the worst superhero of all time, but I don't even think it's a might.
What?
Yes.
Nah. Booster Gold.
Hey, Cell, who's trying to kill my entire planet. What if you fought my son and I gave you a sensu bean just to see how it goes? Nigga, my life is on the line.
It worked out. That's all that matters.
If it worked out, if it worked out, don't risk my life. Anyway,
Just because you didn't have the vision, man. Don't
I didn't.
Goku like that.
Goku's another one who's like, you have to get that casting right. They have to be of a certain size and girth and all that other stuff, right?
The girth.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems a little overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage.
What is going on? What is going? You are no longer able to touch the controls. Don't touch nothing.
We were talking about the girth
touch
and
nothing.
tonnage.
You know what? The question's done. You can't talk anymore. I'm gonna talk now. You lost your opportunity to talk. I just muted Kenny. Okay. You cannot talk anymore. You have lost talking privileges. I'm going to talk about Wonder Woman right now because Mans is bucking out. Look, I'm going to put you back on.
Oh my god.
All right. Because I need someone to talk to. You're lucky I need someone to talk to. You need to stop. That clip is nuts in more ways than one. AYO. 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 In terms of your second question, right? Well, first one, my question. Yeah. I think Wonder Woman should be a mixture of all that, right? I think she should be a fish out of water. I think she should be a little hating of men just because she's comes from an island full of women with no men. When she comes to our part of the world, she sees how terrible a lot of men can be, but she also can see the humanity in it, but she has a distaste for men because we're trash for the most part. And I can see that aspect being there, but it needs to be handled in the most gentlest ways. So she needs to be gentle, but she also needs to be that fish out of water. She also needs to be that warrior. I think that there should be a mixture of all of it. Make her a multifaceted character. But in terms of casting, right? I have a couple people here, and we could talk about these choices, and then you can tell me who you think, right? One of the choices here is my choice, but we have Elizabeth Debicki, right? She's worked with James Gunn before. She was Asha in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. That's the gold lady who birthed, what's his name again? What's the gold guy in Volume 3? I can't hear you.
Ashrath Methion Synthos. What is his name?
I do that too when I can't remember something.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. Yeah, Adam Warlock's mother. That's she played his mother. She's been in other things too. I'm trying to look it up. I should look this up before Elizabeth Debicki. Wow, they have her really low. She was in Maxine. She was the person that was trying to hire Maxine for the job. She was in Tenet as the damsel distressed, and that is all I know from her. But a lot of people said that she has the look and the acting ability to be Wonder Woman. I think that she should be in the DCU. I just don't think she should be Wonder Woman because I think they should go with someone that's a little bit more ethnic. That's the best word I could say. Another option is Ana de Armas. That was a big fan cast for a long time. I think she has the look. I think she's done good with action. I think she's out the running because Ballerina didn't do good. I think
she's out the running because she's a tiny human being and should be nowhere near Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot wasn't big either, and she was believable.
Gal Gadot's bigger than what's her
She's
face?
Taller, but she's not bigger.
That's part of the job.
Yeah, but there's movie magic. Tom Cruise has looked 6 feet for like 10 years.
Bro, Ana de Armas and don't look nothing like a Wonder Woman at all.
It's movie.
She's better
magic.
off playing Zatanna.
They'll figure it out. Another one was funny. They were talking about pulling from the DCEU and casting someone that's already been a superhero, and that's Grace Caroline Curry, who played Mary Marvel in Shazam. She does have the look. She seems to be a likable actress. I'm not fully on board with that because I haven't seen her play a serious role yet. She was in that Fall movie from a couple years ago. Isa Gonzalez is someone that they've fan casted a lot. She also has a similar look to like a Anna de Armas, and I think she's a little bigger than her. And she has the chops. She's been in action films. I think she could do it as well. Margaret Qualley is one that's kind of left field, but she's also small. She's hot right now as an actor.
Litton Fig.
She's very, very small. But my two top choices, right? And these are two top choices are Katie O'Brien, right? Which will set the internet on a blaze because she's half black, half white, and doesn't look fully white. But she has the size, the girth, as you would say, Kenny. And this is more appropriate and less inappropriate, you know? Yeah, she looks great.
Yeah, this, I could totally see her being Wonder Woman for sure.
Yeah, she looks great. She could definitely do it.
Who's the last young lady that you said? Elizabeth?
Which one?
Blanchett? Kate
Blanchett?
Kate.
Isa Gonzalez?
No, you said Kate something.
I ain't say no Kate. Oh, Katie O'Brien.
Katie O'Brien.
You know who Katie O'Brien is.
I do. I'm looking it up for the people.
For the peoples.
Yeah.
For the people. I think she would also be a good choice. I think also, this is my number one choice, and that is Adria Arjona. She is an actress that was in Andor. She was in Hitman. She's been in ton of stuff, and I think she has the acting range. I think she has the look, and she's been in action before. I think she can fully pull it off. But also, I think that she is just a likable actress that can tackle situations that Wonder Woman has to tackle. And people won't be mad at her for tackling it, right? Like, there's certain actresses that people just get mad, right? Like a Rachel Zegler. They get mad at her for whatever reason. Brie Larson. They get mad at her for whatever reason, tackling certain situations. When Arjona talks about certain things, they don't seem to get mad at her about it. So she knows how to speak in a way where she doesn't offend the men, but also the women still like her.
I can see why they don't get mad at her about it.
You so silly. I don't know about Anna. That's fair. I personally would like Ella Purnell as Zatanna. I think that she could do a really good job as Zatanna. Because she plays that
uploading some of the people that we were
hard-nosed character. Katie O'Brien is part black. Yes, Katie O'Brien is half black.
Gosh darn Negroes.
I also think that Katie O'Brien should have been what's the character from The Last of Us? Abby. I think she would have been perfect for that.
She might have killed that little girl. Well, I guess that's the point.
That's the point. It's supposed to be intimidating, scary. It's wild the box they put women in and they have to be nice while Tom Cruise is a whole psychopath.
Right?
Somebody was just talking about how male actors get to be, like, she looks great. She has the build. She has the face. She has, I don't know how she's going to look with long hair. I don't think I've ever seen her with long hair.
She has that curly hair in
that movie was like,
bleeding.
Yeah. But long, I don't think one of them was gonna. I think one was gonna have like long straight hair. I don't think they're gonna do like a curly hair thing. They could. But yeah, that's my Abby. Katie O'Brien is definitely my pick. Yeah, I think it's between Katie O'Brien and I think my number one pick is her. I think she exudes the character. She has a great look. She's likable. She's a superstar in the making. And she has the acting skill. It's not a situation where Gal Gadot looked great and people were attracted to her, but she can't act. She has that. She has that you're showing right now. The girth, as we would say. And good Lord, let it be her.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems a little overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage.
So I'm gonna let you guys know this is the last episode of Film Club. It is canceled. Me and Kenny will not be doing live streams together anymore. I am done with him. We will never. I'm not even talking. I'm blocking you on Discord and everything else.
What?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care about her acting skills. She's fine. Jesus Christ. Look up this person. I high key wanted Charles Fraser as Wonder Woman. I don't know who Charles Fraser is. Can you look up her picture? Also, Arja also has the N because she's going out with Jason Momoa, and he's also already in the DCU. So I can really see him alley-ooping her into the DCU, and that would just make sense.
So I'm looking at Charles Fraser, and it's a man.
What's her? Where's she from? What's her full name,
on.
bro?
Hold on. I
Fraser.
Charles Fraser.
Yeah, I'm not getting any women's when I type in Charles Fraser. Charlie Fraser.
Charlie. Got it. I was like, I'm seeing old men's too.
I loved her in Hitman. She was fantastic in Hitman.
Hey.
Can Jason Momoa fight? Yeah. He can. He absolutely can fight. He has that Samoan fighting skills in him. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Let me see. Let me put up another poll. Who is your fan cast for Wonder Woman?
I know her.
Katie O'Brien.
That's the mom from. Yeah. I'm about to put the picture up now.
Yeah.
I got 2 pictures for us here. Let me delete some pictures. So get rid of that cow real quick.
Okay. Also, there's somebody that's been fan cast as Wonder Woman for a long time. I'm trying to remember what her name is. She has very, very blue eyes. What is her name? Cast of White Lotus. She was in White Lotus. What is her damn name? Oh, Alexander Daddario. That's somebody that they've fan cast as Wonder Woman for like 10 years now. And I think Alexander Daddario's like 39. So, okay, that's not that long. You can look her up too. But while you look her up, and you do, he said, can all Samoans all fight? But I know that he knows how to fight.
This one we know for a fact.
I know that for a fact that he can fight. We talked about the scripts. Oh, let's talk about while you look these up. Oh, she's pretty. This is Charlie.
Mm-hmm. You know her.
I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her anything. What she's been in?
I'll show you. Give me 1 second.
Wait. Oh no, I've seen her in something before. Oh,
she's
the mother from Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
She was badass in that.
Yeah, she was.
She was in Anyone But You. I don't remember seeing her in that, but I also don't remember that whole movie. Anyway, she hasn't been in a lot of major stuff. This would be a big role for her. She's also indigenous to Australia, which is interesting. That kind of gives a little bit of the foreign look to it. I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
She was great inside of Furiosa. So, like, I wouldn't even be mad at this at all. She's 5'11", so she's on the taller side.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I can't pull this picture up, but it is what it is.
Elizabeth, official Saskatchewan, welcome to the live stream, says Elizabeth Debicki / Courtney Eaton. So, yeah, we talked about Elizabeth Debicki. Courtney Eaton. I'm trying. Oh, yes. From, what's that show I really like on Paramount Plus? Courtney Eaton's from Yellow Jackets. I think that she would be really good too. I think that would be a big role for her. I'm not sure how tall and big she is, but she looks tall every time I see her in every movie she's in or show she's in.
This is the young lady who we just discussed before.
Yeah, Charlie Fraser. But yeah, I think a lot of these are really good choices look-wise. I think Charlie Fraser has the acting skills from what I've seen her. I think Arja Jonah definitely has the acting skills. Elizabeth Debicki is a really good actor. Courtney Eaton is actually an underrated actor, but she just has mostly TV roles. Everybody else has a great look. I'm not too sure. So that's kind of who I'm down to. I'll say Jonah, Charlie Frazier, and Katie O'Brien. I think those are like my 3 top fan cast picks. What about you, Kenny?
So from who we have selected, I think I would definitely. And this has nothing. Well, I mean, it does have to do with her look, but not her looks necessarily. Yes, and I think that yes. However, for what is her name? Katie. Katie
O'Brien.
Olsen. Katie O'Brien. I don't know why I said Olsen. Katie O'Brien. She feels like a young person, if that makes any sense. Like she just feels like
Yeah,
young.
way younger than whatever she actually is. Yeah,
Yeah, because like she plays like young and naive a lot of the time. So I'm not saying that she can't do it because I'm never going to say an actor or actress can't do something, but all of her roles I've seen her in, she doesn't give me regal Wonder Woman like because Wonder Woman has a certain aura about her, right?
yeah.
And I'm not saying that Gal Gadot gave that to us, but I will say that like I'm gonna make this comparison only because when I think Regal, I think of this person. She Wonder Woman almost gives me younger, still learning uh, Angela Bassett. Like Angela Bassett had not saying Angela Bassett should play Wonder Woman. What I'm saying is the vibe that I get from Wonder Woman is a wise person who doesn't take BS, who has some type of knowledge, know-how, wisdom, right? I get regalness from one because she is Princess Diana, right? But also I will kill you today now, right? So there's this mix of that, and I don't necessarily get that from Katie O'Brien. I kind of get like what the roles that she's played, which she's played very well. So it would be interesting. Now you can play it. You don't have to play the character that way, but you know, I just don't see a woman who is from an island full of women who are royalty, who will grow up on honor and wisdom and the gods and all that stuff. When I hear that, I don't see Katie O'Brien. Now, once again, I'm not saying that she can't. I'm saying I
Yeah.
don't see it right now.
You're not envisioning it in your brain.
If she was
I
cast tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Right? But
Yeah. I do think for the most part you're right on her roles, but I think why I have faith is because of her what she's did in The Mandalorian. Because she played a evil person in that one, a composed, more adult. Like she looked older in that show versus what she usually looks in movies. Like when I see her in Twisters, she looks like a very young person. Like she's 32 or 34
Right.
or something like that. So she's in our age range. We're not old, but when we see her, we're thinking mid 20s.
Speaking of people who you didn't think were as young as they actually are, do you know that we're older than Alexa Bliss?
Yeah. Yeah. I looked it up the other day. She's been wrestling for a long time.
She has.
Since she was like 19. She started NXT at 19.
Yeah. It just blew my mind because like she seems Charlotte's age,
Older.
if that makes sense. Like she's like the way she
Yeah.
carries herself is very like
Yeah,
I'm an adult
mature.
nigga. Well,
Yeah.
she wouldn't say nigga, but I would hope. But like she carries herself like a grown adult,
Grown
not here
person.
for the BS, right? But
Yeah.
she's younger than us, which I guess that what does that say about us? Anyway, but yeah,
That's funny.
mhm.
Alexa Bliss mama is fine. That's a random fact. Okay. Okay, you guys are getting a little goony in here. Katie O'Brien could kill me any day. Let's relax. Let's
You know,
let's move on.
You're also acting weird.
Oh, can give me Alexa Bliss's Supergirl. I could a little bit. little bit. I can see what you're talking about.
I'd rather have
But
her
let's
villain.
talk about something that I didn't think we were going to get at all, and that's Clayface. So we got some news about Clayface. So we have a casting finally for Clayface, and that is a man by name of Tom Riz Harris. Never seen this man before, and the reason why I haven't is because he's barely been in anything in America. He's mostly been a foreign actor. He's really young. James Gunn said that after an exhausting process, him and Matt Reeves, and I think I wanted to point that out, the fact that Matt Reeves was helping during the process of searching for this person, they found this guy and was blown away by his auditions to play Clayface, right? I think he's in his 20s. He looks like a model, which makes sense because the version of Clayface that they're going with is a big time actor that's trying to make it, but feels like he needs to do more to himself. So the character name is Basil Carlo. He most famously debuted in the Batman animated series and obviously got added to the comics later. And in the show, he was the episode that people love is the one where that guy, you know, he's trying to become an actor. They keep telling him he can't be. And then he finds this makeup thing, this experimental thing, puts on his face, makes him look as any way he wants. And eventually it goes downhill where he becomes the Clayface monster. And Mike Flanagan is writing the movie, which he's one of my favorite creators right now. Haunting a Hill House, all these different things that he's done that are great. He has The Life of Chuck that just came out. People are saying that movie is great. He's writing the film. He said he's heavily inspired by that Clayface from Batman animated series. He also did say that he's inspired by The Substance as well. So this is going to be R-rated. It's going to be a body horror film. And the person that's directing the film is James Watkins, who doesn't have a lot of impressive features under his belt, but he did do Speak No Evil, the remake that came out last year, which was really, really fun. And he directed, what's his name again? What's the guy, the main, Professor X, the British dude?
Patrick Stewart?
James McAvoy.
Oh, that one. That
Yeah, he directed James McAvoy really, really well in a way where he came off like a superstar, right? Like he came off this guy that you want to follow, even though we knew you shouldn't follow him because he's a terrible person. Yeah. But he did a good job of bringing that character to life. So, I have one thing. How do you feel about this Clayface movie, knowing that Mike Flanagan is writing it, James Watkins is directing it, they have an unknown stepping into the role that they were blown away by, and because Matt Reeves was so heavily involved in casting the character, do you think that this is going to be the Clayface that will be attached to Matt Reeves' Batman or the DCU Batman?
That's what's so confusing about hearing that Matt Reeves was involved in the casting, because I mean, obviously you can just hire people who you think are have a good eye for talent, but since when is James gonna need help with that, right? But so for me, it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's the part that's confusing. It could be for just a Clayface movie, has nothing to do with the DCU, and has everything to do with Matt Reeves' universe. Or on the other hand, it could be a Clayface that's just for the DCU. But that's also weird because now we're getting into Spider-Man villains have their own movies because what? Territory, right? So it's weird either way, right? I don't think that I don't know what to think. Like this could be one of my favorite movies ever when it comes out. Like I don't know. I can't say it's going to be terrible. But shut up. You don't know that. But it's like I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. To be honest with you, I know that we're on here to voice our opinions.
Yeah, but you need more information.
I need more information.
Which is fair.
What's the kid's name? Tom
Riz? No. Tom Riz Harris. TOM RHYS, and then Harris is HARRIES.
Riz Ahmed? Okay, I got it.
Not Riz Ahmed. Our boy Tom Blyth was up for the role too, the one from
Hunger Games. That's my guy.
Yeah. So another thing I want to pitch you. First of all, I want to say big Mike Flanagan fan, so I think that the movie will be written well, and he does a really good job of finding humanity in horror spaces. So I think this is gonna tug at our heartstrings because that's just what Mike Flanagan does.
This guy looks like
James Watkins, huh?
I'm sorry. I was looking at timers. He looks like a actor, yes. A model, also yes. But also a serial killer. Like he looks like, hey man, Dark
He looks
Alley.
like somebody that will go off the deep end, which is what Clayface needs to do.
Dark Alley, not a good time.
Yeah. What also interests me, and I'm going to pose this question to you, right? Like, I found the Matt Reeves thing interesting. The reason why I find it interesting, oh yeah, he was in the Gentleman TV show. I don't think he was in the movie. I think that TV show, The Gentleman, that came out, I think last year, I think he was in that. What I find interesting about all this is that that looks like, who he looks like? David Bowie.
He does. Very much.
He should be in a David Bowie biopic after this.
He really does. Yeah.
Just put that lightning on him. That's him.
He looks like Model. I will kill you right now. Like he looks like
he does. He kind of looks like David Bowie and Dexter had a baby. One thing I'll say that I find it interesting, huh?
Dexter Morgan?
Yeah, Dexter Morgan.
Okay.
Not Dexter from the animated series. One thing I found interesting is that they did say this is the Clayface for the DCU. They have specified that, right?
Okay.
So that makes me very interested to see if it is part of the DCU. Why? Because James Gunn has proclaimed multiple times that if you voice the animated character, you are the live action character.
Oh, yeah.
Clayface has been debuted into the DCU because of Creature Commandos, and he was voiced by Alan Tudyk. So that means, based on what he said, Alan Tudyk should now be Clayface in the DCU.
Aha!
So,
but I got something for you.
Oh, okay. Give me.
If you remember the Clayface episodes from the Batman animated series, he took this clay and this makeup, put it on his face so he can make himself up. And you know what I mean?
Boy might be cooking. My boy might be
cooking.
cooking.
You know what I'm saying? If the Tudyk is like, bow, now I look like an actor and I can get roles.
Oh, that's... Boy, when I tell you that is genius, put this man in the booth, James Gunn. You probably thought of that yourself.
Yeah, man.
When I tell you, that's too good to be true and it's not going to happen because it's just too smart. Like, it just makes too much sense for them to put Alan Tudyk, who's not a bad-looking guy, but he doesn't look like a movie star, to want to become a movie star and then make himself look like this man. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal.
Because I remember that Clayface actually he was not married. He had a girlfriend. He had all these relationships and stuff like that. The casting director was like, "Hey, this guy's a star, blah blah blah." And then something happened. He either ran out of the makeup and his face started like slogging and all this other good stuff. So like you get all that kind of like. You can get all that. You can get him being like, I thought I was. Then you take this face and you make him ugly, right? Because that's the Clayface thing. That's a psychological break. I can't get roles anymore because I look like this. And then he goes up to the casting director like, we worked together for many years, Johnny. You can't just take me out of this role. And then the casting director
we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
You know what I mean? So
okay, you have gained back rights almost a little bit to keep doing that. I gotta find a way to put the StreamYard settings so you can't touch this stuff no more because you be bad. But yeah, no, I think we've seen movies like that before. We've seen episodes of TV shows like that before. I think that's genius. I think a mixture of the substance where it's kind of a takedown on Hollywood. I think that would be great if they can do that mixed with the DCU superhero shit, mixed in with Alan Tudyk trying to be a movie star and then doing this. I think all that sounds amazing. And I think what Jay Kelly, welcome to the live stream, love your logo,
What up?
said about, I think the Batman will be introduced in Clayface. I think that's an interesting idea. I
I
can
think that's an
definitely
interesting
see
idea as well. Yeah.
the Spawn thing I was talking about, how like Spawn was supposed to be the villain thing and the cops were the main characters. I could really see them doing it where Clayface is the main character, but Batman's
Yeah.
around. And he's a problem and he's mentioned. And this is how we introduced and we eventually see Batman come because Clayface starts killing people. I could definitely see them doing that, and I think that would be very innovative. Like what you're saying mixed with that premise would make one of the best superhero movies. Or comic book movies, I think. Biggity Bam says, I was just about to say Bowie. Yeah, I don't even know David Bowie like that. I don't think I've really listened to his music. I don't really like know what his face is like right on top of my head. But when I saw it, I was like, this looks like David Bowie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, now he was in the movie. Okay.
He 1000% looks like David Bowie. Also, if you haven't seen, oh, Lord, please let him be in this, because I might just say a movie that he's not even in, and then I'll feel dumb. Dark Crystal. If you haven't seen Dark Crystal is incredible. It's from 1980 something, and it's really, really good.
And I heard the show was good too. The show that they came out with.
Yeah.
Depending on which Clayface you're talking about, he's a charismatic guy. So the one that they're doing, I just had his name here, is Basil Carlo. So yes, it's supposed to be a charismatic
Type of dude. Yeah.
And he was in Canadar with Gerald Butler. Okay, I remember Canadar. I remember liking it. I don't remember the supporting cast really. TJ said you're cooking.
Oh, thank you.
He says, "See, this is why Kenny needs to rant."
Oh, appreciate y'all.
Stephen A. with the old hairline.
That's hilarious.
That was such a good idea. I'm resubbing to Zach.
Wow. See, I got some sub back, bro.
Whoop, whoop. I always bring him around. I always figure out how to bring him around before the end of the stream. You know what I mean?
They knew where I was from. I'm from the dirty streets.
But yeah, I love the idea you're saying. I do think it's too good to be true. You're so silly.
Yeah.
If it is true that this is part of the DCU and he is going to be the new Clayface in the DCU, it's funny that he'll be breaking one of his early rules. And that's going to segue into something else he said, right? James Gunn has stated recently, I think on Twitter and a little bit in his article, that if you die in the DCU, you are dead and you're not coming back. I see that as very problematic.
That's a dumbass rule, to be honest. That's a dumb rule. Does he not know what comic books are? Of course he does. I'm being facetious, but
Of course.
of all things to be like, the rule is you're never coming back. Please, these are comic books, movies.
Yeah, I think that is a bad idea because it has to be dependent on how they do it. It's like if we see you die, right? Like you, cause like, okay, if Jason Todd gets beaten to death on screen and dies, are we not putting this man in the Lazarus pit?
Exactly.
It makes sense if it's like, okay, well, if they die off screen, could you, let me see how we put it back so we're both on the screen. There we go. If you die off screen, there's a chance for you to come back because we didn't see it. If that's like the loosey-goosey way you can do it, cool. But if we see you get shot, if you see you get beat, we see you get exploded, and there's just no chance of you coming back, even though there's so many fantastical ways for that to happen. So we're never doing Death of Superman, right? We're never doing Death and the Reign of Superman.
Right. Flash has died how many times? Evaporated into the ether.
Like,
It doesn't make sense.
yeah, I feel like it's a hard rule that he's putting that I feel like he should be like, we're going to try to make death important. That should be a focus. But just to say like, this is a across the board death. If you die, there's no chance of coming back. I think that's a little too much, especially for a DC comic booky Silver Age universe that he seems to be building out.
Yeah, it just it's, like I know people want to like be like, yeah, true to form, but come on, bro, come on.
There's
That's
characters that die and they become that's how they become superheroes or villains.
Spawn.
So it's a weird one. I'm not too fan. I'm not a big fan of him saying this out loud. I think that him establishing so many rules in the beginning of the universe before the first movie comes out is going to be a detriment for people to go, you said you were going to do this and you changed your mind. Even though you have the right to change your mind, but you told me that
Right,
this was never going to happen. And I don't
right.
see why he would do that.
Yeah, I like let the movies tell us the rules, right? Let the rules because Kevin Feige has never. I don't want to say never because I could be wrong. Kevin Feige and other people that aren't even doing comic book universes typically don't come out and tell us the rules in the universe before the movie tells
No,
us itself. That is a fool. I'm saying foolish because I don't want to be like, oh, this is all stupid. And it's like, well, it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean? I feel like we have a overreaction culture on the internet, and I'm just
of
trying to like
course.
mediate that a little bit. Do I think it's dumb? Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's very dumb to paint yourself into that kind of corner. That's
It's
just
unnecessary.
foolishness. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah,
If it's an internal rule that we eternally know that
hmm
if someone dies, they're
right
off the
around the
board.
studio. Like if the studio around the studio were like, hey, we ain't resurrecting nobody. So if you write somebody dead, let them stay dead, my
That's it.
nigga.
That's it. And then you're like, hey, we're gonna use that character. You can't kill him off.
Right.
And then that's I don't know. It's interesting because it's like we can't resurrect him. It's just gonna be interesting to see how that works out and how
Absolutely.
he has to define it as he goes. Regular J Studios, welcome to the live stream. He said, in
Welcome.
my opinion, I don't think that it's really hard to make a serious Batman franchise with a fantastical world and villains. Look at the original four Arkham games and Batman the Animated Series. One thing I gotta say to that, game to live action and animated series to live action is different. The translation is different because those are made for fans and we understand certain things work because we read the comics or we're fans of the character. When you're making a movie that's made for $180 million, you have to make it where my mother can understand what's going on, or the
Basically.
random Joe sees a Batman poster and goes in and can understand and comprehend what's going on. As much as I
Yeah.
hate it because I want them to go as crazy as possible with these
Balls to the
stories,
wall.
balls to the walls. As much as the Arkham game stories are heralded, how much people like Batman the animated series, I don't think we can do a one-to-one thing there. I agree with you because I think that they should be able to do it, but I don't know if I don't want to say it's easy. I don't want to say
It's
it's
not
easy to make a fantastical Batman
it's not easy, yeah.
because people are going to be like, well, how did he survive fighting Bane if he's juiced up and can punch through brick?
Cause he's Batman, nigga. Like
That's basically what it is.
that's what
Um,
happens.
this is a good this is a good question. He said, I understand that rule because what is the shelf life of this universe? That is
Mm.
interesting. Is he planning to only do this for a short amount of time?
What's a short amount of time though? Because movies take 2 or 3 years to
To
create.
make.
Yeah. Because like right now we're about to say knee deep. We're like we're not even well into this thing, and it's already been a year, and we've only got what 3 projects? 3 projects that we actually. I'm not gonna say 3 projects that we actually want, but what I'm trying to say is 3 projects that were kind of like Superman. Yes, the rest of this, hey man, it's time.
It's kind
It's
of
seven,
it's to
like we were
see.
talking about earlier.
Yeah. He said we haven't even got one movie yet. That's what's crazy.
That is crazy.
He's definitely just saying that to build hype for killing some characters later, but he's gonna take that back. We'll see. There's always a multiverse. Pure Hangout says might be saying rules as a way to throw off our scent. That's
Hey,
also
Pure
true.
Hangout, how's it going?
What's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. He said, I
Love you
think
so
Ben
much.
Affleck did it well. That's a good point. As much as people feel about that universe and that version of Batman, that version of Batman fought against fantastical creatures, and it wasn't that was nobody had a problem with that. We're not going to see any major deaths for another decade. I hope so,
That's
but
the
you never
hope.
know. You just
That
never
is the hope.
know. All right. So the last thing we're going to talk about is James Gunn talking about throughout the thing. He talked about his faith, him giving up drinking. He talked about how him losing
Oh,
jobs
did he?
over old tweets, which I
Mm.
think relegating it to old tweets is kind of wild because it was way wilder than just old tweets. Him losing,
Yeah,
you
boy.
know what I mean? So he lost his job at Marvel, and then he said that that
Mm.
was when he felt the most loved, right? Because all his friends and people that he didn't know cared about him reached out to him, and then he got his job back, and now he's the head of a studio. Talk about failing upwards.
Right?
But he talked about how he doesn't want to be fully loved, right? Because he said if you're being fully loved, you're not doing anything innovative or different. And they brought this up because they're talking about how the Snyder hardcore fans or cultists, as people are starting to call them, are really coming at everything he does, right? They're coming
Mm.
at the death rule. They're coming at the fact that he's rumored to do a world's finest movie right after a Superman movie, which is very similar to doing Man of Steel into Batman vs. Superman. They're coming at every little thing that he's doing. They're talking about boycotting the film, and he talked about how like he doesn't think that they're a big enough movement to make any effect
Mhm.
on his film. Speak to like that battle, that continuous battle he's probably gonna have to have for the first couple years of the DCU of having a fan base that just absolutely is gonna trash everything he does.
Um. In short, F them niggas. Honestly, I don't think that it's worth entertaining people who are hell bent on disliking you for the simple fact that they didn't get what they wanted before. These people, in my opinion, are trolls, and I don't think we should feed said trolls. Feeding the troll.
I think you might have muted yourself.
My bad. I just don't think that it's worth the time to invest your time into trying to convince them that they should consume your product. Put out the best product that you can, market it the best that you can. Don't don't try to convince them to buy a ticket because you know what's going to happen. They're going to buy a ticket to see this movie anyway because they
Yep.
love Superman and they love superheroes and they want to be a part of the conversation. Then they're going to tell you that they didn't. And then they're going to tell you that they heard that it sucked. And then they're going to tell you like, "Oh man, that's why I didn't go." Nigga, you wait. We don't need to like entertain these people who are just hell bent on being trolls. So I think that he's doing the right thing in terms of not even not even really giving it air. I guess he gave it air by talking about it in general, but not
Yeah.
giving it air towards like not giving any credence to
Yeah. Making it feel important.
their boycott, boycott. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah. I agree. As someone that was a fan of Snyder's work, I am ashamed of all these people who are doing all this nonsense constantly. Is like, look, him and Snyder are cool. They're boys. They came up together. Snyder's actually helped him on this Superman and had discussions with him. Like, like why even do this back and forth? At this point, this is not even about Snyder anymore, right? Like, this is just about you guys. And I think James Gunn talked about it in an article. He said these people are continuing this because they make money off of this, right? They hold conventions, they hold different sit-ins, they make merch, they do all these different things to make money.
Yeah,
It's not about Snyder anymore. It's not even about Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman or Justice League anymore. It's all about just feeding off people who don't have confidence in themselves, like how Andrew Tate does, and getting the money out of them.
basically. And like it goes back to what we say all the time: negativity sells. It's
Yeah.
so much easier to to galvanize people to hating things and to galvanizing people to loving things. And part of the reason for that is that if you go on the internet and you say how much you enjoyed something, you're going to get 1,000 people telling you why it sucks, right?
Yep.
And like I swear, yo, I think the funniest thing in the world slash annoying is, yo, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought blah blah blah. I didn't like it. What am I supposed
Okay.
like? What do you want me to do with that information? That has nothing to do with me, right? It's just like, okay, like it's the people who say I don't like it and then don't say anything after that and just like press in. Okay, am I supposed to? Was I supposed to engage? Was I supposed to argue with you?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. You didn't. That's okay. You guys know this is okay. You know it's okay not to like things, right? Oh, everybody's hyping this up. Maybe
They're
it's
excited.
maybe that's because they enjoyed it. I don't know I don't know what you want them to do. You know what I mean? Yo, also, I know people may feel a certain way about this. But when people say like, man, the studio hyped this up, they made it seem like blah, blah. The studio's job is to sell the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what you wanted them to do. Hey, there's this really mid movie that we're putting out. We think that it's just okay. Go out and buy your tickets.
No.
No, no. I'm
You
about to
don't
put out the
hype it up.
most trash movie in the world. But guess what? I'm gonna find that review on I don't know what I'm talking about.net that says this is the greatest movie of all time, and I'm gonna put that all over the trail. So
All the
yeah,
quotes. Well, all the 5 stars.
yeah. 5
That's how
stars,
it
man.
works. Let's see. I don't know about the death rule. On one hand, I do agree that some characters should remain dead, like Bruce Wayne's parents, or later on Jonathan Kent, but some characters should, like Jason Todd. Interesting. One thing I had to say, I'm glad you brought that up. I hope that they keep both of Clark's parents alive. I don't think we need to see Jonathan Kent fridged this time around because it happens all the time, and
Yeah,
I don't. It's not like Spider-Man parents dying. It's not like Batman parents dying. It doesn't need to happen because it's not a driving factor for him at all. It's just something that they do. Like the whole
him
like,
having
oh,
good
my
parents
powers
is like,
can't. My powers
yeah,
can't save everything or that can be learned by something else. We can learn that by him not being able to save a bystander, or the whole thing in the comics where like he has to pick and choose who he has to save, and he knows that someone just lost their life because he picked this person, and that struggle all the time, right?
yep,
He can learn it that way. One thing I like about the Superman animated series is that he had both his parents, so when shit hit the fan, he could go home and talk to his dad and his mom. I like that. Or even in the comics recently, we just found out that Jonathan Kent and Alfred video chat each other a week to
Wait,
vent about Clark and Bruce.
first of all, that's funny. That is hilarious.
That's hilarious.
That's
Because
funny.
I think Bruce came to talk to Jonathan because I think Clark was missing, and he was telling him something, and he's like, "I already know," and he's like, "How?" He said, "Oh, Alfred told me." He was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, talk." He's like, "Yeah, we video chat each other every week." He said we're the only people that are. He's other than my wife, who I can't talk to about this all the time. He's the only other person that's normal that I could talk to us about because he knows Clark's secret. He can't talk about it with my neighbors, and I was like,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like how the superhero spouses talk to each other, right? Like there's a
Mhm.
comic where Lois, Flash's wife, I keep forgetting her name right now, Iris,
Iris, yeah.
a bunch of other ones, and then also Wonder Woman's spouse. What's his name?
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor. He's the only man there, and they're all just.
That's also very funny.
That's very funny. They're all venting. It's cool.
That's hilarious.
I will ignore the trolls. They want reaction out of folks. Also, at this point, do we really care about what the Snyder Cult has to say? It's not like they got any money to buy all the theaters. One thing I'll say though, like, The hate reviews, bringing down the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, that can affect people's, especially general audience, perspective or how they think this movie looks. If a
Mhm.
flood of reviews come out, it's like 1,000 bad reviews for Superman, it could deter some general audience members from not going. So
Yeah,
it's possible that they could affect it a little bit with word of mouth,
not as
but
much.
not enough for him to, you know, care that much.
Yeah,
As much as I didn't like the Snyder's DCU at all, at least he had a plan. After W kicked Snyder off of Justice League, they didn't know what to do with the DCU, which made it a jumble mess. Absolutely.
yeah.
Collector Movie
Hey,
Man.
what's up, collector?
I don't think we'll ever see Jason Todd. Well, unfortunately, that's incorrect because we're getting a Nightwing Jason Todd movie. So we are going to
Really?
see Jason Todd.
That's cool.
I just got done being on a stream with Megamite. Nice. I hope you had fun. He said that's a TV show in itself. The side characters got a group chat. That would be great. That's like when they made that cleanup crew show. I wish that it was like people watched it
What was it called?
with Vanessa Hudgens.
Uh,
Super, I think it was called, something like that.
Super. I thought the MCU was doing a show like that. It was.
They were supposed to do the cleanup crew.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the baño. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. I will talk to the peoples. It's just me, Oos.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems...
No, Kenny. How dare you? I'm gonna beat Kenny Sparks up. CW Irish, aka Candace, was fine. Just putting it out there, she was fine as hell. CW had fine actors. They just had attractive ass actors. So, yup, and hate YouTube. Oh, so many hate YouTube videos. Bottom line, I don't know if Superman's gonna be a success or a flop. I don't know if it'll be good or bad. All I know is I'd rather watch it than Fantastic Four. I'm excited for both. I think that the excitement for Superman is a little higher, but not as much higher than people think. I do think Superman is going to be a solid movie at best. I don't think James Gunn's put out a bad movie, and I think it's going to do well at the box office. I do think Superman's going to do well. I don't see any way that it'll do bad. Damage Control, thank you, T. Crazy clip. That's why I cut it off. He tried to set me up. Tomorrow, I have an MRI that I have to go to for once a year. I always get very nervous because they have to put you under and put a breathing tube down. Now I can't eat anything or drink. Wait, what? You get put under for MRIs? I have never been put under for an MRI before. Or a breathing tube. What kind of MRI are you getting? It does look better than F4, but Superman just looks so questionable. Jim Henson had to ghost direct this film. Soundtrack though, fire. Yeah, I really like the new Superman theme. I like it. It's like a new age kind of rocky version of the old theme. It's like a mixture. Even though I do miss my Man of Steel soundtrack. He said he might have anxiety. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So they have to sedate him because of the anxiety. I get it. MRIs are not fun. I've been in them before. I just was in there recently. I guess I can give you guys a health update. The reason why I haven't been putting out as many videos is because I got some bulging disc in my back. So it makes it hard to sit for a long time. So even like this right now, my back's gonna be killing me when I get up. So it's hard for me.
I don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep.
I'm gonna fight you, Kenny. This man is coming back and just clicking buttons and then leaving. Got the fresh. Yeah, you dig? You see the fresh twisties? You know what I mean? Hair flowing, looking long and healthy. You dig? Yeah, just appreciate the twist. Oh, I just hurt my back. Oh, just hurt my back. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. It's for my cancer I had back in 2016. The reason why they have to put a breathing tube on me is because they have to control my breathing so they can get a good read on my liver. Oh, okay. Him scream like that from the Son generation was if it's his first time feeling it, I think that I'm here with it. Because also, James Gunn also talked about in this article, he talked about the whole like it was cool because he said the way he broke this movie because he was having a hard time figuring out how to write Superman was crypto. That was like his first thing, and he thought about that relationship with his dog and how that relationship would coincide with Superman. So his first scene that he wrote and shot was crypto pulling Superman to the fortress. So that scene that's in the trailer was actually the first scene he shot, and then it led him to the fortress coming out, to the robots, and then he made up the telescope. So the telescope thing has never been done before, and he made up that idea into a faster way to get the sun into him. So usually when Superman takes it in, it's a slower way for it to happen. Shut up. I realized what I was saying, and I was like, oh god. But I was like, that's cool. I kind of like that. If it's a way where it's like he's taking in too much sun and it's hurting, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Superman animated series was so good and so underrated. It's my childhood along with Superman 2 on TV. I agree. I love the Superman animated series. I think it's so underrated. People like when people talk about the Batman animated series, I always bring up the Superman one, and they always go, eh. I'm like, what?
Wait, Superman
It's just
animated
as good.
series?
Yeah,
It's
just
great.
as good.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but it's well. No, yeah, it is good. It is actually very good. There are some episodes that are kind of like, but it's like the episode with Mixoplex or whatever, Mr. whatever is Mr. Mixoplex. Hate that episode, right?
Really?
But I also
love that
hate
episode.
most episodes with Toyman. So it's kind of like, you know.
Gotcha. You don't like the whimsical Superman villains?
Oh no, not Toyman. I was trying to think of the Batman equivalent to Mr. Mixoplex. I can't remember. But no. Yeah, that's just not true. Yeah, I just can't say Mr. Mixoplex because the whole
Clock
concept-
King would be the Batman equivalent.
I like Clock. Yeah, there's no Batman villain I don't like. I'm trying to think. Is there a Batman villain that you don't like?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so for me either. Chat
I would have to really look.
is what the kids say. Is there a Batman villain that you don't like?
Yeah. Damn, bro, go see the chiropractor. It helps. I work in physical therapy. We don't F with chiropractors.
Really?
Yeah. we
Wait,
don't
tell
fix
me
the
more.
problem.
There's chiropractor and physical therapy beef?
Yeah, because physical therapists feel like they don't fix the problem. They just patch it, and then you have to come back to them. And physical therapists feel like they give you the tools so you, throughout life you can avoid this pain.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
The timing, but I hope you're doing well, Zach. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'm going to physical therapy. I feel stronger. I'm out here lifting out 25 pounds, squatting it. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
That's what's up.
You're gonna have to be gonna have to be one of tubers that be laying down in bed and with the CGI background. Yeah, I be seeing those people. It makes it look like they're sitting down, but they actually are laying down.
Really? I've never seen that. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's okay to scream from intense pain. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
James Gunn wanted a scope. Ironic. Oh, gun scope. Ha! I got that one.
That's funny. That's a good one.
I mean, Superman is healing at rapid speed, so I'd imagine healing from broken bones and other severe injuries would hurt. Yeah, he looked like he got his ass whooped. So I'm pretty sure this was probably the first time any of his bones were broken.
Are people under this impression that Superman's never gotten his ass whooped? That's what's confusing to me. Have y'all not watched Superman? He's not supposed to hurt. Who told you that lie? Who told you that?
He gets hurt.
He gets hurt.
And to bring up the article, James Gunn talked about like in terms of power scaling and the difficulty, because he said he always has to find a way to ground the crazy stuff in superhero films. So like Rocket, he needed to find a way to ground. He needs to find a way to ground it. And he said he was having a hard time with the trunks, but him and Zack Snyder talked about it and they figured it out. And also David Cornsweet. And then he had a hard time with the whole like glasses thing. Okay. So he brought Tom King in, and Tom King helped him figure out how to do the glasses thing. The fact that he
Because
could just
it
take it
was
off.
never just the glasses. It was the glasses. It was the hair. It was the way he
Yeah.
stood. It was his
The way he
stature.
spoke.
The way he spoke. He hunched down when he was Clark. He stood straight up when he's Superman. Like it's all. It's like
It's
he
a lot.
becomes a different person, basically.
Yeah.
And it's not just like he's not standing like Superman and then he puts glasses on. Nobody can tell who he is. It's all of it together.
Together.
It's
Yeah.
an accumulation of things.
Yeah. And also we saw it in the trailer when he's having that conversation with Lois. He's speaking himself, and then when she says, "You ready for the interview?" he sits forward, his face changes, and he has a little different tone in his voice.
Yep.
He sounds more like a radio man when he's Superman, which is I think
Different
is
tone, different tenor, all of it.
Yeah. Would you think maybe a tribute to Superman? Because didn't the first anime thing start as like a radio program for Superman?
I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that it was the first thing. I do know that I've seen some really racist Superman episodes on a VHS tape when it's Superman versus the Japators. That was crazy. But yeah.
Oof. Superman anime series was fire. That Flash vs. Suit was dope, but JLA series got no love when people talk best anime. What? People talk about JLA all the time, especially Unlimited. Toyman. Superman had the best Batman crossover. Yup.
Yeah.
I don't like Harley Quinn. Only TSA version I love. Interesting. Okay. I personally love the Harley Quinn show. That show's so fun.
That show is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Really good. I didn't like the Mad Hatter in Gotham having Lusty Busty for his sister. Yuck. What? I don't know what you talking about.
Who's busting it up in Mad Hatter?
Like, Superman's not an immortal god. Also, he literally bled in BVS and died. Like,
he got killed.
Yeah.
Like, he died.
And James Gunn said he's gonna have he's depowering Superman. Like, his Superman's not gonna be this immortal god, all-knowing guy. He's gonna have powers. He's gonna be one of the strongest heroes, but he can get hurt.
And when we talk about Superman, just like we talk about Captain Marvel, which I know is a curse word to people in the comments and in the internet, and we talk about these characters that are ultra powerful, the number one issue most writers have with these characters is finding a physical challenge for them. So what they do instead is they find a way to put someone else in danger or make them make a choice. And that's typically what they have to do. That's why Lex Luthor is always the foe for Superman, because he's willing to make the choices that Superman won't. And it doesn't matter how strong Superman is, his moral compass is what gets him in trouble, right? And his moral compass, trouble. I mean, he's right, but and his moral compass is what causes, his moral compass is what makes him vulnerable. So if you have Lois tied to a bomb over here, and you have a train full of people over here, that's the Superman choice, because he could kill Lex like that, but he won't be able to save the people he was actually supposed to save.
Yeah,
and that's the Superman. That's the powerful, like the Marvels. Captain Marvel relit a sun. A sun.
Yeah.
A star. She flew into it and
gave it back
reignited
energy.
a star. There's nothing you can do to Captain Marvel to hurt her. So you have to make her make a choice. It's the same thing with Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that even with the relitting the sun, it wasn't like this was a cool feat. It was tied into like, I made this mistake. I hurt these people with my choices. I need to redeem it.
Yeah.
And they could use that as a way to depower her. Like, because she used that much energy to restart the sun, now she's not as strong.
That makes total sense. But yeah. So, but also, Superman has gotten punched. Like, have y'all seen? We're just talking about the Superman animated series. Lobo wasn't backing down. Lobo was whooping Superman's ass. Like, he's been hurt before. I don't know where.
Bizarro.
Yeah, all kinds of
Metallo, Parasite,
Metamorpho, like purple guy. I think that's
Parasite.
Parasite. Thank you. But Parasite hurts him for a reason. He's been hurt.
Yeah, and he has
You
to
know?
be. He has to be in
Yes.
some danger.
Yeah.
The
Hey man.
net. Pain will make you scream viciously. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth? As someone has never seen Jurassic Park, I don't really have any thoughts.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
I think that the film looks like it has a lot of potential to be very, very fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing Mahershala Ali in a movie that was announced. So he's starring in it. You filmed it, it finished, and now it's coming out. And I'm also looking forward to seeing Scarlett Johansson and Riz Ahmed. I think it's Riz Ahmed. A bunch of people who are really, really good in this film. And, I was actually talking about this with my dad the other day. It's like, hey, man, the thing I enjoy the most about Jurassic Park movies is being able to sit in the audience and say, y'all shouldn't be there. Why are y'all there? Why are y'all niggas there? What are you doing? Oh, we wanted to go back to the dinosaur island because, we were doing the research and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but it's shut down the first time. Why are you going back? Oh, there's some research that we want to do. Oh, we found a second island that we thought would be more tame. Does the second island have dinosaurs on it? Yeah. Why are you going there? This time they're going to an island. The story is they're going to an island full of the dinosaurs that were too dangerous to put on the island that was the theme park. The one that everybody was killed on. So the regular dinosaurs killed you. And now you're going to the one with the exile dinosaurs that were too dangerous to be on the
The
original.
Super Saiyan dinosaurs.
The Super Saiyan dinosaurs. What are you doing? But I'll be in the crowd being like, look at these idiots. I don't feel bad.
There's one of them that looks like Alien from the Alien franchise.
Yeah. Also, why are there always children? Every movie there's a child on. There's like two of them. Two children on this island.
Who brought these kids? We talking about Batman being irresponsible with kids. Jurassic Park franchise.
Oh my god! There was one time this little girl did some gymnastics and she kicked a raptor. Just how things happen, man.
Just because you said that, I gotta watch it now.
Yeah.
Damian Wayne is pushing it though. In terms of what? I need my Damian, and he needs to be half Middle Eastern. Hey Zach, I wanted to ask, what did you think of the new Naked Gun trailer? I have not seen it. I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
I haven't seen it either. When does that movie come out?
Yeah. I think it's August. Another August movie. Superman got beat up trying to stand up for Lois in Superman 2. It was gut wrenching. He actually says, "That's my blood." Then he got his powers back to gang to get gang jumped by Zod and them.
Yeah. Yo, they whooped his behind.
To dramatic pause. That's not true. You can say bad things about her on the internet. That hurts. Wait, that's not true. You can say bad things about her on the internet. That hurts her. Oh, he's talking about Captain Marvel.
Oh, I don't know.
Superman's biggest weakness is his humanity. Yeah,
100%.
he actually cares for these Earth people. He does, and a lot of it. And I gotta say why this is why that last trailer made me very hopeful for the movie. The whole like he went to a different country to save people because it's the right thing to do. He's not representing America. He's representing what's true and right and what's justice. And that conflict of like, well, you're wearing our colors. He's like, no, I'm not. And it's like that. I think all that is what makes Superman very, very interesting. How anti-government he is. I think people forget about. People forget how similar Superman is to Captain America. They're very.
I was just thinking about Cap when you said that.
They're very similar. Batman's very similar to Iron Man. People don't realize like Iron Man had xenophobia. Batman also has xenophobia, but like not for aliens. Like actual aliens.
Batman kill an alien like quick.
Yeah. Oh my god. Him and Martian Manhunter do not like each other. Like there's no powwows with those two when it comes to Justice League stuff. And I think Batman and Justice League have killed aliens before. I think they don't give a fuck when it's an alien.
Batman be killing people.
He be killing.
That's ridiculous. He be killing people. He tells us that he doesn't, but he do.
We need a Superman game. Imagine flying around Metropolis, going to space, going to Daily Planet as Clark is a reporter, fighting bosses like Darkseid, Brainiac, Mongo, Lobo, and Metallo. That sounds amazing.
That would be a lot of fun.
I think flying to space is a bit much because then it's like, why can't I fly out farther?
Well, that's the thing that we're talking about. We don't worry about the babies. They can't fly to the nebula.
I don't like what you're doing at all. We're gonna move on because that was not no. Damian Wayne is a parent. Oh, Sage Rodriguez, welcome to the live stream.
What up,
If Damian
Sage?
Wayne is a parent, I guess Dick and Jason are already Nightwing and Red Hood. Yes. So an animated Nightwing and Red Hood movie has been announced, which is tied into the DCU. So this will be in with whatever Batman, but animated, and whoever voices those characters I'm expecting are supposed to be the live action versions. That's what James Gunn said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be your new Return of the King. Not really. I watched Return of the King. I'm going to watch Naked Gun when it comes out. I'm not interested in watching any more trailers. Y'all chat people really capping for that Scream. Say what y'all want. That ain't it. School of Dollar Tree acting right there. That's your opinion, Kal-El.
Who did what?
The Superman Scream when he was getting the sun put on him with the microscope.
Oh, I haven't watched the trailer. I haven't watched the new trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I refuse. It's so
Should
close.
I live back? Sorry, what happened?
I was saying it's so close to the movie that all that Superman stuff that's coming out, I'm kind of like, I'm out of here.
Why would I do that?
You know what I mean?
Sage says, should the live action Transformers movies be rebooted? So one thing I gotta say before we answer this is we're not getting any more Transformers 1. Paramount has nixed it because the bad box office, unfortunately, didn't do well.
That
Which sucks. That really sucks bad. Second, they just did a soft reboot of the Transformers franchise.
With Beast Wars.
Yeah, and it did well.
Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, Rise of the Beast.
It did do well.
We're getting a sequel to that. And we're also getting G.I. Joes tied to it. So
right, it was supposed to be a
yeah, they teased G.I. Joes at the end of the last movie.
So, I was shocked. That one caught me off guard.
I did not see that coming. That was almost on a level of like Sam Jack showing up at the end of Iron Man.
Yeah. But to y'all mother effers who not going to renew Transformers 1?
Screw you!
During the stream, I've just been adding videos to our repertoire.
I see. Stuff in here you wilding out with. That's true. So many people in Jurassic Park movies bring their kids. For me, with the Jurassic Park movies, just give me my horror scenes with dinosaurs and I'll be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
An anime series on Netflix, they wanted to give all these kids opportunities to go to Jurassic World and be on the island with dinosaurs. They're putting children in danger, and the kids in the anime series get trapped there for 3 years.
What? What kind of grave of the fireflies situation is this?
That's insane.
Yo, we should really rename the name of the stream, this episode, Child Endangerment, because that's what the stream has been about.
That's hilarious. Zach, are you saying you're not going to see the movie or you're not watching the trailer? If the movie doesn't come out when something else is coming out that I'd rather watch more, I'm going to probably watch it. Batman is alien racist? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. It's been a continuous thing with him. He doesn't trust aliens. Batman is just Lex Luthor with a more palpable moral complex. Yeah, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day? I don't really have any thoughts about it until we get more concrete information what's going on, right? Like we know Sadie Sink has been casted. I think somebody else just got recently casted, but I don't know if this is going to be another multiverse movie or this is going to be a grounded story or like a halfway between, which I guess could be satisfying. But I'm excited to see Peter Parker Spider-Man to be more like the traditional Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
in its current climate, where not the current climate of political, where it's currently placed in the MCU, there's a 99.5.9% chance that it is a multiverse movie. But God, do I hope that it's not. I really just want to see Spider-Man swinging his ass all around the city, putting his ass in people's laps, and you know what I mean, like just fighting crime,
Laps.
fighting crime. I'm saying, like people just being like surprised by how strong he is, and just everything that he brings to the table. I do wish Spider-Man was taller though, like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a little small. Like Spider-Man's a little bit more tall and lanky. You know what I'm saying? So,
You're a heightist. You're a
This
heightist.
brother had a few more inches. Oh, Lord, don't get me salivating.
Hey! Stop it!
why you?
Stop it! Get some help. Got me channel my Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some damn help. Stop being a heightist. I see you be hating on everybody's height.
No, I was joking. I was just trying to find a way to.
Small people deserve to be superheroes too.
Bro, I'm not tall either. I was just looking for a way to play that clip again.
Paramount will pay for their crimes. Damn. Okay, TJ.
I'm with you on that.
I guess Megatron will be captive at Cobra La instead of Sector 7. That'll be a twist, and he would appear. That'll be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they have him in the G.I. Joe or even the what's the Cobra, what is it called again?
Yeah, Cobra Commandos.
Cobra. Yeah, if they just have them. Yeah. I was talking about the original Jurassic Park is going to be your new Return of the King. Nothing's going to be my new Return of the King because nobody cares about Jurassic Park enough to bother me about it other than Kenny. So
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
That's not true. Use of skills unsubscribed from you because you were trashing Jurassic Park.
I was not trashing it. That's a lie. Don't tell lies.
Shame on you and your lamb and your goat. I hope your goat never grows to be a juicy, delectable meal. That's what I hope.
Ew. I don't like what you be saying this whole stream. I don't like Some people said I didn't. Some people said I didn't ask for Transformers 1 movie, and now I'm mad it's not coming back. That's true.
Yeah.
Leading into it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Brand New Day is dropping July for next year. They have yet start production, so there's that. So there's probably no script. Spider-Man fans want a grounded street level story, meanwhile Batman fans want a fantastical story. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is funny, and and it makes sense because both of them, the individual franchises, have given a heavy dose of one or the other.
Yeah, I don't understand the question. So the question is in the poll is, do you want a grounded Spider-Man story in Spider-Man Brand New Day or a multiversal one? Best looking Spider-Man was Andrew Shore. Toby was best overall. Look wise, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Everything except for the hair. His hair was too tall for that mask. It didn't make any sense at all. That's not like the movie's bad because of that. It's just like when you saw Andrew Garfield's fro, basically is what that was. The mask was skin tight. It's like, bro, ain't no way all that hair's fitting in there.
Well, we seen him take it off, so the hair was under there.
He's not valid, as the kids would say.
You know what my number movie is looking for next year is the Odyssey, the new Christopher Nolan movie. I'm excited for that. Thoughts on the Batman 2 script not being finished? I love the Batman, by the way. So we talked about that earlier. We just feel like it might not be finished because they might be incorporating that Batman into the DCU because that would be the easiest thing. But with, now that I just said that Nightwing and Jason Todd are getting an animated movie and it's tied into DCU, that makes it less likely even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder how goats taste now, Kenny. Oh, Damn, TJ's not Caribbean at all. Okay.
Goat is good, bro.
Curry
Goat
goat,
is
man,
good.
is
Go
is
go
great.
to go to the Jamaican spot or go to a Indian spot. Um, good goat, good goat.
Yeah, man.
Both
If
both
you
of those
want,
cultures got goat.
they got it. If you want decent spices that's not gonna kill your stomach and make you go to the bathroom crazy, go to the Jamaican spot. Curry
Mhm.
goat, plantain, rice and peas, with some yam. If you go to the India spot, clear out your schedule because that curry is gonna mess you up.
It's gonna
It's good.
fudge you up, bro.
It's good, but it's gonna mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
A Spider-Man with Daredevil season 2 tone? Yeah. Nah, I don't think they're gonna go that far.
He ain't going. Mm-hmm.
Nanette says she wants a multiverse Spider-Man movie.
Nice.
I don't care what kind of story it is as long as it's good to me. That's fair.
Yeah.
I've heard that Matt Reeves had some mental health issues. Y'all can't be read it in an article that was on Friday a few months back. Yeah, I saw Grace Randolph talk about it a couple months ago, saying there's some stuff going on.
Yeah.
With his family that caused him to have some mental health issues and stuff like that. Hopefully he gets better and hopefully his family's good.
It can be tough, man. Life is not sweet.
Life be lifing. If they show Daredevil in Brand New Day trailer, I'm sold. Yeah, I'm down for them to interact with each other in a more deeper way.
Yeah.
Goat's good if there's not a lot of bones in it. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, this was really, really fun. I appreciate every single one of you guys being on the live stream. All the new people that came in. I hope you guys subscribe and join us weekly for Film Club, a safe space for you to talk all things film. Regular J Studios, thank you so much for joining the live stream.
Yeah.
Regulars like Kal-El, TJ, Collector Movie Man, Nanette, Sage Rodriguez, thank you for joining the live stream. Someone I haven't seen in the chat before. Appreciate you being here. Who else? Did I miss anybody? I feel like I missed somebody else that's newish. There was somebody else that had a cool logo that was a YouTuber. Useless Skill, appreciate you as well.
Yeah.
Biggity Bam, appreciate you for joining the live stream. Jay Kelly also, thank you for joining the live stream. That was new. Michael 101591, thank you for joining. I'm trying to find another person. Man, we had a lot of stuff here. John Darius, thank you for joining the live stream again as well. We had a really fun live stream. A lot of AOs. Show Kings, thank you for joining the live stream. Appreciate you. You're brand new. It was cool to see DJ. And I can't find the other. Oh, fine. The True 31, thank you for joining the live stream as well. All you guys have been awesome. All live stream. Pat Master was back in here as well. This was really, really fun. I was excited to talk to you guys about this subject. I think we did a really good job of covering everything, and you guys did a really good job extending the conversation. So, you guys have a great night, and hope to see you guys next week. Not only for our live streams, but our individual stuff. So, like Kenny, like what do you have coming up?
So, my channel. Some of you may know that I don't know. I'm black. But anyway, so basically, some of you may know that I'm going through a little bit of a transition on my channel. I'm still planning on putting out movie reviews, but I'm also putting out what do they call those things? Vlogs. I'm also putting out wrestling content, WWE content. So I'm really been into like trying to get out more of my interest on my channel. So yeah, expect more WWE stuff. I just dropped the WWE video today about King of the Ring. And my expectations for that and how excited I am for that. I got a video coming out praising what Naomi is doing in the WWE. I had to put out a Father's Day vlog yesterday with a phone call with my dad, and you guys get to hear me and my dad talk. And I also review 2 movies in there. I review The Materialist as well as The Phoenician Scheme. So yeah, man, I'm doing a mix of a lot of different things. I'm trying to find my footing. Because right now, the movie reviews are, I think they're okay. I think my work is fine, but it just doesn't seem to be connecting with people. So to to make sure that I don't end up on OnlyFans, I gotta find different ways to make content, you know. So, but yeah, shout out to all my gooners out there. You know, so yeah, what do you got coming up, Zach?
So this is the last film club stream. You will never see me collab with Kenny Sparks ever again. This is first and last. I'm gonna ban him immediately. You know what? Get out of here. You know what? Get out. Get off the stage. All right, because you need to be put in a timeout. You nasty, nasty man. What I'm working on for my channel is obviously 28 Years Later is coming out this Friday. I'm a big zombie movie fan. I'm a big fan of 28 Days Later, 28 Years Later. I'm working on a video for 28 Days Later. I'm doing my research. I'm going to be doing more video essays on my channel. I want to do one about 28 Days Later. I have a video essay I've written out, but I'm working on and fixing up and have people looking at it for about why we need to do race swaps in Hollywood and the history of race swaps and why it's important for you to race swap old characters that were white and change them to something else. And I have another one about the word woke that I just thought about recently. So I did a video about it, but it was more like a clip from a live stream. So I actually want to sit down, do my research, and kind of do that. So I just want to do deeper stuff because, like Kenny Sparks, I love doing the reviews. Sometimes they hit, a lot of times they don't. So I'm going to diversify what I'm doing, make sure I'm not getting bored with the content. But I'm still definitely going to be doing reviews. I'm going to see if I can do a materialist, whatever how you say that word, that movie, video tonight. It's kind of late. I'll see if I can. I might not be able to. I might have to do it tomorrow night because I don't have nothing to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it tomorrow night. And it's going to be a little different from my normal reviews. I'm going to be tackling it about how A24's, because Materialist is one of A24's highest grossing movies. It's the third highest grossing movie they ever had.
Really?
And there's a trend with those three movies that they have, where Civil War, Hereditary, and Materialist. And I'm going to tackle that while talking about the movie as well. So
I did
just
not
trying to find.
Hear that?
Huh? Yeah, it made $12 million this weekend.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
surprising.
Be on the lookout for all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. We're also gonna start trying. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Kenny about this. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to promise nothing. I'll talk to him off stream. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I still can't